Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery is joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Taberry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle Edition of the program. Bo the Boys with you for the next 3. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. Get your questions in. We had requests last week on the YouTube chat to extend Hey Guys into 2 segments. So now the owner, if that is the case, and I'm willing to workshop it and test drive it today, the key will then, the onus will then be on you to make sure, and I hate doing that, but that's the only way that Hey Guys is going to work, is if there is the full participation that is required for a 2-segment Hey Guys. So it's in play. We're going to test drive it. We're going to workshop it. We'll see if it works, but that potentially could happen at 11. Go ahead, Reese.
We'll also bribe the listeners. We do have the $50 gift card, the distillery tour, and the whiskey tasting to our friends at High Bank.
That's right.
It's a new year, but nothing's changed.
No, that stays. This is what we do. We're giving. We're a benevolent show. This is what we do. 10 o'clock, we'll do a little higher. Lower Jake Trotter at 10:30. Spencer Holbrook on the portal. If you can make sense of it, he'll try to. At 11:30, and of course, you're officially endorsed. Okay, what did you say in the update there, Reese? 19 in the portal?
They go portaling to find a greener pasture. It's my best attempt at a Krogering jingle.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You're going to have to build a football team a different way. And Ohio State is, I think they knew it. I think that they are prepared for it. I do believe that the folks up the street have a plan. I believe they're following that plan. I understand how a great many of you out there are in panic mode. I get it. 19 guys in the portal. And certainly with what happened yesterday with Quincy, you have something that you would have said, well, that never has happened, right? Where someone who is of that regard from a recruit standpoint bailed that quickly. Like you don't typically see that, or you hadn't typically seen it. But I think you will going forward. I think there are a couple of things that you can do to combat this. Some of it you can't do anything about. I think one thing that Ohio State is going to have to consider doing if they are going to still try to put the onus on the recruiting classes, which I wouldn't. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks. I would not pay a premium for recruits anymore. I wouldn't. Unless it's Jeremiah Smith, Julian saying like a surefire can't miss. I just wouldn't. I would put the onus on 3- and 4-star guys who potentially, hopefully, have loyalty that are willing to be developed. I think that's why it was so crazy with the 2 defensive backs from Ohio. I think that's what was kind of shocking about that, is those are guys who were keyed for big moments, and they still went looking for bigger paychecks other places and potentially found them. So, but I think that's what you got to do. I would not pay a premium for 5-star players. I just wouldn't. I don't think it matters to the extent that it used to anymore, the way that the portal is done. And I would put the majority of your resources towards known commodities in the portal. And we're at a point now where basically, officially or not, the entire sport is in the portal in this window. And the adults in the room drove it here. We've been over it 1,000 times on how we got to this point, and it's here to stay until they do what they should have done 10 years ago, which is collectively bargain this, call them professionals, give them contracts the same way they have coaching contracts. It's the only thing that fixes it. You guys are probably so sick of hearing me say it. I've been saying it for a decade around here, that's the only way to fix it. And they continue to not do it. And so this is what you get. So you're going to have to pivot on how to build a team. And you're going to need probably 30 to 35, 40 guys on a roster that you're going to have on the roster that are willing to be developed in a traditional way. The rest of the roster is going to be premium, high-pay players, and you're going to have to decide where to disperse that money. And it's not the NFL, so there's not a finite amount of money. It's however many boosters you can convince to give you money, and you're going to have to rely on that to find difference makers. And nobody likes this. Nobody likes it, except for, the kids. I'm sure they like some of it. I'm sure they like the money and the instant gratification and all of that because they're kids, and that's what kids like. But nobody in the sport likes this. No coach likes this. Nobody covering it likes this. Fans don't like this. The traditional way that you viewed your college football team is completely upside down at the moment. Now, I do think the one thing that Ohio State could have done better last year with some of this is if they had played with tempo. And I think if you bury people and you get up 35-0 on some of these garbage teams and you go let Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter and these guys go eat in the second half, let them sling it all over the place, catch passes, play real football. Like, don't worry about trying to milk clock or anything like that. Play them all. Like, get them all time and play them. I would not hold back red shirts. I wouldn't do the 4-game thing. I wouldn't do any of that nonsense. Like, I would go. I would absolutely go, and I would let all of those kids play. And I think if you're going to try to still put the onus on development, if you're going to try to put the onus still on massive recruiting classes, 5-star kids, you can't have them sit. They have to play. And this is something Brian has always had a very tight leash on the receivers in terms of who got to play. It was something that, look, you pay your dues and then you get to – there's no paying dues anymore, guys. Paying dues is over. Nobody's paying dues. And I see Bake Scray just wiping his face because the reality of this sucks. But this is the reality. And there's no get off my lawn that's going to change it. This is where we are. Until they professionalize it, this is where we're going to stay. And Ohio State in real time is changing the way that they build a football team. They're doing it in real time right now. And it's something we're all just going to have to get used to. But those are kind of the only two remedies that I see. But the approach on how to build a football team is different. The days of multiple 5-stars sitting on your bench and not playing, it's over. It's done. And if you're going to still take those guys and pay those guys, then you have to pay them. Play them.
There are so many things I'm thinking of, Bo, while you are just going through that. The one I'm thinking of, all the Ohio State fans, and I get it. Oh, my gosh. Quincy Porter is in the transfer portal, and oh, my gosh. Yep. Mylan Graham is in the portal. What are we going to do with all these receivers? How many receivers did you play this year?
Yeah.
You played 3 for the most part, and that was it. What was the thing that killed Ohio State at the end of the year? It was probably offensive line play. Mm-hmm. You can't have it all. Like, I understand it's Ohio State, but there is only so much money that you can give. And we talk about there's a ton of money. You're right, but they're giving it to a lot of players. Mm-hmm. So if you want offensive line, you're going to have to sacrifice wide receiver 5, 6, and 7, especially when you've got Jeremiah Smith at the top. And then I'm thinking, you're saying, well, maybe use tempo to appease all these guys. I don't care about these guys. I care about winning, right? And if you think, and I think we all think tempo would have helped Ohio State this year. But if you think the best way to win football games and get to a national championship, a Big Ten championship, the college football playoff, all of those things, is slowing it down, I really don't care who I tick off because I want to win in the long run. And then I think of C.J. Hicks, and you talk about there's no more red shirts. And I don't know if C.J. Hicks would have helped Ohio State this year at all. He obviously just was not good enough to crack the rotation and be a player that played consistently here at Ohio State. But, I mean, if you needed him this year, you better have played him because you just sat him for him to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So all these things, as you're talking about that, I have all these thoughts and emotions just flooding into my head with all of this.
I also yesterday thought about Ohio State's senior day against Rutgers, where David Adolph got the start at wide receiver. And it wasn't until like the third quarter until I think they even tried to go to Bryson Rogers. And I wonder in those situations, if you want to at least show these guys that like there's a path to getting on the field, like the Mylan Graham, the Quincy Porter, or the Bryson Rogers, do it then when Jeremiah and Carnell aren't playing.
Well, and I think that was Mylan Graham. Bryson Rogers started that game, I believe.
He didn't record a reception.
But Mylan Graham didn't come in until the second half, and maybe that was your first thought with like.
That's what I thought yesterday. I'm like
maybe he wasn't as good as he was set out to be.
Yes.
And that's why I wouldn't pay him anymore in recruiting. I wouldn't get into a bidding war in recruiting. And I think it's something that there was a traditional way to build college football teams for 125 years. And it was amplified really in the last 15 with super uber recruiters like Urban and Saban. Urban and Saban are 2 of the 5, 6 best coaches in the history of the sport. You want to know a big reason why? They had the most talent. consistently. Go take a look at the recruiting classes that Urban and Saban brought in. And the more recent example of this has been Ryan and Kirby. Like, it's not rocket science. They had the most talent. If you have the most talent, you can win. And you can still do it that way, but it's different. It's different now. It's older talent. It's proven talent. It's known commodities. I would not get into a bidding war for a recruit. I would not. Unless it's Jeremiah Smith. And how many of those come around that are surefire, can't miss, go from day one starter dudes? There aren't many. There aren't many. Do you want to spend time developing a quarterback, or would you rather just take Sam Levitt out of the portal, who's already developed? I mean, this is how the sport has changed. It feels like in a blink of an eye, but it's actually been a gradual move towards this over the last half decade since all of this started to come into place, and nobody put guardrails on any of it. It's been the Wild West for 5 years. Now it's just hitting home for us. I
mean, 3 of the 4 semifinalists have portal backs.
Oh, my gosh.
They just got to, Ferris State developed Trinidad Chambliss, Fernando Mendoza.
4 of them do, Reese.
Dante Moore
started at UCLA with Chip Kelly. He started for a full year at UCLA. All 4 of them are transfer quarterbacks.
Yep.
No, this is different. Ohio State is figuring this out on the fly. And if you're looking for the most extreme example of how absurd it is, we will get into that story coming up next at the quarterback position. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook: read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Are your bad feet making work miserable? You're not alone. Here's Vale, a real Good Feet Store customer.
I'm a salesman. I pounded the pavement 35 years, literally. My legs ached, my feet hurt. It was just sometimes unbearable. But if you don't have a good attitude when you're in sales, it shows on your face. I heard an advertisement on the radio with the Good Feet Store, and I said, what can I lose?
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Vale get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way.
I walked in the Good Feet Store and I said, my feet hurt. What a difference with these arch supports. When I go and talk to my customers, I've got a smile on my face. I can go all day long, and then some. It's the real deal. My name's Val, and that's my Good Feet story.
Don't let bad feet stop you from achieving your 2026 health goals. Visit the Good Feet Store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
They didn't have skim milk for your coffee, so I just got formaldehyde.
Oh, isn't that stuff in floor cleaner?
Pizza's here. Would you like cheese on that? Or how about a Crolian?
Oh, no, that's in bug spray.
Hi there. Would you like to sample our new scent? Diethylene glycol.
Isn't that the stuff in antifreeze?
You wouldn't want to eat it, drink it, or even smell it, but that's exactly what's in your vapes. If you vape, quit. If you don't vape, don't start. For help, go to odh.ohio.gov/no vapes. A message from the Ohio Department of Health.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect skies to be mostly cloudy today, but still mild with above average temperatures in the upper 40s. And then for tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows around freezing. For Thursday, a dry day ahead with mostly cloudy skies and warmer with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Rain develops late Thursday night, overnight into Friday with gusty winds and lows in the 50s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
So this story happened yesterday. Over the weekend, Damon Williams, the quarterback at Washington, actually, they made a big deal about it. They put it out that he had signed a contract.
We love seeing those.
A contract.
We can't say contract.
At Washington. Well, it's a contract in every way except for the way that a contract is supposed to work, which is it's supposed to tie people to what's agreed to in the contract. So it's kind of like the Seinfeld line where you know how to take the reservation. It's the holding the reservation that's the important part. That's kind of what's happening here. So this guy they make a big deal about it. They put it all on social. And he was a really good player. I mean, he's a dangerous quarterback, good player. Announced that he's recommitted and he signed a contract and he's staying at Washington. Well, that changed. Why did that change? Because my guess is somebody reached out to Damon Williams, probably somebody in desperate need of a quarterback who maybe thought they were getting a different quarterback and said,
Kiffin.
could be, although Sam Levitt was sitting courtside last night. So who knows? So he then jumps in the portal. Now, he has a do not contact tag in the portal. Understand, sometimes I have to remind myself of this. We're knee deep in the muck on this, so this is all normal to us. If you're out there driving around, you're listening to this, there is complete free agency in college athletics. There are no contracts, and while there are officially people in the portal, basically everybody is always in the portal. And there's supposed to be rules against tampering, but there's no way to police any of it. There's no punitive arm whatsoever. There's no clearinghouse. There's nothing. It's just whatever you want it to be. So clearly somebody contacted Williams and said, what is Washington paying you? Oh, well, we can up that. And it's very possible, in the Athletic reporting this, that Williams already has a landing spot in mind. Notable schools that are currently or could be in the quarterback market include LSU, Miami, and potentially Oregon. That would be the most bitter pill to swallow. That would be like if Julian Sayin went to Michigan. In the realm of that, if that happened, probably more like Penn State. I would say Washington, Oregon are more like Penn State, Ohio State rivalry than they are Ohio State, Michigan. But there's certainly a deep level of hatred there. It would be like if Julian Sayin went to Penn State is what that would be like, just randomly showed up at Penn State. Stuart Mandel reporting that Washington has no intention of releasing Williams from his contract he signed on January 2nd. A program source told The Athletic the dispute could lead to a messy debate over the circumstances surrounding Williams' status. Washington is prepared to pursue legal action to enforce the terms of the contract, according to a person briefed on the situation. Here's the real truth on it. I don't see any scenario how they can enforce anything with this contract because every one of these contracts goes out of their way to say that they are not an employee.
Did Miami do that? Well, defensive back last year?
Yeah.
Now they're in the CFP semis.
What happened to that kid? Is he on Miami?
I think he's just on their roster. Yeah, I don't get any. I understand from Washington's perspective because you did all that PR and you did all that probably backroom work to make sure that the money and the deal was in place to keep Williams happy. And somebody came and offered him a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what that would scream to me, and good luck enforcing these things.
You can't. So, I think at the bare minimum, if we're going to stay in this world, I think the minimum thing that needs to change is that when this portal occurs, juxtaposed to when the season is. That goes back to that calendar discussion we have all the time. You can't have this now. You just can't. Not while you're in the middle. I mean, tomorrow night we're going to play a national semifinal, for God's sakes, and you're in the middle of all of this. It's not right at all. And no one's immune to it. Nobody is. I mean, we talked about 19 Buckeyes in the portal. Go look at how many guys are in the portal at Texas. They got Arch Manning coming back. His roommate, Parker Livingstone, who has a nice season this year at Texas, 516 yards, 6 touchdowns. He hops in the portal and goes to Oklahoma. So this is saying to Michigan. That's what that is. I mean, that's it. He's a redshirt freshman. He's got 3 years of eligibility. Apparently, he said on social media that leaving Texas was out of his control. How is it out of your control? I'm sure it's financially motivated. Oklahoma said, we'll pay you more. It's in your control. You could have stayed at Texas and taken a little bit less if it was something that was important to you. But what's happening by and large is who can pay me the most? It's pretty simple. And they're willing to move and go wherever they want in order to get every last penny that they can get. And sometimes it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you as a coach would have to decide. And look, take the Quincy Porter thing, who popped in yesterday, 5-star wide receiver in last year's class, top 25 player in the country. Let's say he goes to Ohio State, and I have no idea if this is how it went, but just connecting dots. Let's say he goes to Ohio State and says, I need $1.6 million. And Ohio State's like, well, we don't have $1.6 million for you. We got $1.6 million that we'd really like to give it to Ryan Williams. We'd really like to give it to the Coleman kid from Auburn. We'd really like, and Williams isn't in the portal, but I think everybody's in the portal. So let's just use him as an example. I think we're going to give it to them. If you're Ohio State, that's the decisions you're having to make. Who are we giving this money to? In real time, now, while all of this is going on. And so this is an example where Arch's roommate is going to Oklahoma.
That is violence at the highest level.
Yes, it is.
Right there, going to the rival. By the way, Xavier Lucas, Bo, the cornerback that left Wisconsin and went to Miami, had 2 tackles against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, but I thought the Big Ten was going to fight it. I thought the Big Ten was going to help Wisconsin. What happened, Tony? Where's the big fight? That's all Washington said with this Williams transfer. Oh, we're going to lean on the Big Ten to help. Okay, how'd it go?
There are some rumors out there that maybe if, and you mentioned it, if Dante Moore goes pro, that he does end up in Oregon.
Sure.
There are some rumors out there that would be the case. Bo, you talked about this yesterday, and I don't know if this is the scale you were talking about, because I don't know how many people know who DeMond Williams is and really follow him, but this is a quarterback that started as a freshman the second half of the year, started all year as a sophomore. He's a really good football player.
Yeah.
And this is a quarterback with years left that's pretty good. Like, it's not Arch Manning, it's not Julian Sayin, but this is a damn good football player that is starting at a major program, a program that played in the national championship game just a few years ago, saying, peace out, guys. See you later.
Dude, we have a 5-star receiver in the portal. Now, he's a freshman, but it's over. The old way is over, man. Like, James Peoples ends up at Penn State. I got my Penn State buddy texting me last night. What can you tell me about James Peoples? I'm like, well, I didn't see much of him. There were flashes. I guess we'll see. We'll see how it all works. This will settle, because the other side of this, we're talking about the highest end of it. We're talking about the DeMond Williams. We're talking about Quincy Porter. We're talking about the highest end of the portal. Sam Levitt sitting courtside with Lane Kiffin and trying to get a bag down there and all of the things that come with it. So all of these things are happening at the highest level. There's the ugly underbelly, too, and that's this part of it. And this part we don't talk about much because it doesn't affect most of us in terms of how we view all of this. And Ohio State's they're not usually something that has to worry about this. There aren't enough spots for all these guys. There aren't. We can talk about the top of the sport, and you can be thrilled for a guy like Lincoln Kienholz finding a home. You can be, and you can be thrilled about guys coming back in. I'm excited for C.J. Hicks to get a chance at South Florida playing for Beehart, and hopefully he really blossoms into the player that we all thought he can be. And those guys are fine. That's still at the very highest end of it. These guys couldn't get on the field at Ohio State, but it's still the highest end of the portal. Guys, there is an underbelly to this that is just brutal, and the reality there is, there are more guys in the portal than there are spots up for grabs. And there are going to be guys playing in the 1AA level, in the group of 6 level for nothing or a bag of peanuts compared to what they were getting at Big State U, because they have overvalued what they are actually worth. And that's the other side of it. And there's some kids in this Ohio State recruiting class that I think are going to get a very, very brutal warning and learn a brutal lesson about what happens when you are not what you think you are. There's the other side of it, and that part's out there too. Just count them. There's too many. There's too many in. There's not enough spots.
And what sucks for a lot of these kids is they don't have good people with good intentions looking out for them. They're just seeing, they have guys that are just seeing dollar signs. Mm-hmm. There's some good agents out there that are repping some of these kids and are probably helping them out, and some of them have really good family lives and parents and people around them that are looking out for them. But then there are also some dudes that are just trying to catch a cash cow with these guys, and they're dirty, slimy agents, and some of these guys don't have anybody around them in their family life to look out for them, and some of these guys are just getting poor advice right now.
You guys don't have children that you know of. But I would just tell you this. I don't think that you know of. The one thing that is one of the hardest things to do as a human is to be honest about the limitations of your children. It's really hard. It's really difficult. And it can be at the lower level. It can be at the highest level. Everybody thinks that their kid is special. And it's really hard to realize that they're special in your eyes, but maybe not to the level that you think for everybody else. And there's a lot of that's going on in this portal, a lot of it. And it's going to end up poorly for a lot of players. We'll get back into this as the program goes along. Coming up next, I think it was a bit of a shocking fire in the National Football League, and it will be just one of the many dominoes that will lead to a very different AFC North next year. We will get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
I lost count of how many foster homes I lived in. 20, maybe more. Each time, a new family, a new room, but never a space that felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room and decorated it myself. And just like my family, it's mine to keep.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan. fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. John Harbaugh out after 18 years in Baltimore and a Super Bowl championship. Reporting yesterday suggesting that kind of the straw that broke the camel's back on this one was John Harbaugh's unwillingness to part from Todd Monken, his offensive coordinator. It sounded like Steve Bisciotti, the owner, needed some sort of pound of flesh for them missing the postseason. I think you can read in between the lines that maybe Lamar Jackson wasn't crazy about Todd Monken, which is pretty wild because you could argue the best Lamar has ever been has been under Todd Monken and what they've done offensively the last few years. Obviously, Lamar's injury played a part of the failures this season. They had a slow start, still thought they had a chance to win the division. And honestly, if a kick goes in at the end of the game, a pretty routine kick goes in to win the game in Pittsburgh on Sunday night, John Harbaugh's obviously still the coach in Baltimore, but instead he is out. He immediately goes to the top of the list, the most coveted. The reporting out there suggests that he wants to get right back into coaching in this cycle. He will have pick of the litter. And quite honestly, my hunch is that even teams that have yet to fire their coach might. Like, if you're sitting out there and all of a sudden this guy becomes available and he has the track record that he has and you haven't fired your coach yet, you might reconsider that now, because a package of John Harbaugh and Todd Monken would be a very desirable package, I think, for much of the league. So I don't think he'll be unemployed long if he doesn't want to, but it's the second firing in the division. Stefanski followed that, and the Browns will chart a new path. And now this one, and this one is obviously a much bigger one in the sense that he's been there 18 years. And this will be, I mean, you want to talk about a giant change in the division. That's part of it. And there's also rumors that potentially the same could happen with Tomlin in Pittsburgh, that if they lose this weekend, that he could go to television for a year and just kind of get a reset. So the AFC North is going to be drastically different to start next season than it was to start this season, and the Harbaugh dismissal is a major domino in telling that story.
Yeah, to your point, I thought about like the New Orleans Saints and the New York Jets as teams that, if there was interest mutually between the ownership of both organizations and John Harbaugh, like they dismissed their coaches as soon as John would want to.
You want the right answer?
Sure.
Washington. It's Washington.
I mean, John would run.
They just fired their coordinators. They just fired both coordinators. He doesn't have to move, right? Already lives in the area. Young stud quarterback. Tons of talent. Ownership that's locked in and ready to go. New stadium. Doing the best they can with the rebrand, wearing the old Redskins uniforms, even though they can't use the name or the likeness and all of that. It's Washington, isn't it? If you're the ownership in Washington, don't you look at Dan Quinn and go, yeah, upgrade. We'll take John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, run the offense you ran for Lamar in Washington. Ready, break. I mean, to me, that's the spot.
It's interesting what happens when a coach like Harbaugh becomes available, because we just heard yesterday that Mike McDaniel was going to be a part of the GM search. And now I just saw when we start, like right as we started this segment and you started talking about this, Josina Anderson with a report that Miami may be interested in Harbaugh and Todd Monken coming down to South Beach.
He'd be an upgrade there.
Right, but why would he want that one? He's going to get to pick. Like, he's 63 years old. I don't think he wants to be in a situation where, who's my quarterback? Like, who's taking that? That's the thing that when I look at these openings, I always think, like, who's throwing it? Who's my quarterback? And, you know, like Harbaugh has ties to Cleveland. I think his mom is a Cleveland native, and I want to say I've heard from both him and Jim that they grew up kind of Browns fans a little bit. That there was some of that a little bit. And obviously there's been attempts. Was it the Joe Banner dismissal? I could miss some of this, but there was one where ownership really wanted to hire Jim Harbaugh in Cleveland. And they kind of missed out on it and couldn't get it done. I want to say that happened before he went to Michigan, right after San Francisco, that ownership up there wanted Jim Harbaugh to be the coach. So
were the Harbaughs seen at a dental office looking at plans?
Looking at homes in Strongsville?
Yeah.
It's usually where they are. Yeah, look, if you're every team in the league that isn't a Super Bowl contender and doesn't have McVay, Shanahan, those type of guys, you're going to call about Harbaugh. Like if you're the Green Bay Packers and for whatever reason, if they don't like LaFleur, which there's all this reporting out there that they could move off of LaFleur, which is crazy. Go look at his record year in, year out while transitioning quarterbacks and all of it. No real superstar receiver, all of it. And all he does is win. And there's talk that they're unhappy with him. Like they're calling him. If I'm the number one is the Washington Commanders. Like that's it. You move on to Dan Quinn right now. You pivot with him. You bring in Monken. He gets to hire a defensive guy, and you're off because they're ready-made. They were in the NFC Championship game last year. Like, why would you even give that a second thought? If you have the opportunity to get a proven guy, proven greatness, you can't let it slip through your fingers. You can't. So if I'm them, I do it. Back to the AFC North. Baltimore with a new coach for the first time in 18 years. Who knows what happens in Pittsburgh if they lose? They play Monday night, right? Are they the Monday nighter?
Steelers, Texans.
Which that sucks to be Monday night in the first round of the playoff. Now you get a short week coming back for the winner of that game. But if they lose, does Tomlin go to television, say, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to sit it out for a year and do that? That seems to be in play. And then obviously there's already been a change in Cleveland. And then Cincinnati is just holding firm. And we had Ben Baby on yesterday, and we talked about what are they doing? And nobody really knows. But would you put anything past that situation down there? I wouldn't. Like, could you see a scenario in like 3 weeks where Burrow's like, yeah, if we don't do this, I'm out. I'm going to retire. Like, out of character for him, certainly. But I think they're that fed up with everything down there.
That's the only way something crazy happens in Cincinnati.
Probably.
Is Burrow's like, this is enough. Because the ownership isn't going to do it.
And it would only be for the absolute right. I mean, Harbaugh and Monken. You got Harbaugh, you got Monken.
This is what I'm saying. Like, if you're the Cincinnati, do Cincinnati. They won't do it because the Brown family would never do something like this. But if you're Cincinnati, don't you have to think? Like, if any team that's a normal NFL team that doesn't have one of the dudes, you have to look at your coach and go, is this guy better? And if I get him and Monken, how am I beating that?
You know, one of the teams that I thought would just be crazy enough, and I don't know if it's crazy to be honest, but they just hired their coach a year ago. One of the teams that I thought of immediately with Harbaugh was the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Jerry making a splash.
The only thing about Jerry is he's not really interested in thought partners.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be challenged.
Word. No, he doesn't want any. He didn't like Parcells in his business. He's a Dave Campo guy. He's
Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, right. He's Brian Schottenheimer. Like, how long did Jason Garrett have that job? Like 10
way
years?
Too long. 10 years
Despite
too long.
Winning nothing.
Almost.
I mean, how long was Jason Garrett the coach of the Cowboys?
A long time. Which he's interviewing with the Titans today, I heard.
Okay. All right. Let me see how long. Was he the...
I mean, it's this with the Jason Garrett stuff's almost right there with there's so many guys in this cycle that are like, we've already seen this. We've already seen this as a head coach.
Yeah, he was the head coach there for 9 seasons, but he was there since 2007 as the offensive coordinator. So, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're anybody and you feel like you're close, you call him. And I think the best one, I mean, it's clear to me, it's not even close. It's Washington. Like that's the one. I just think of it from a personal standpoint. This is the 63. I'm a man. I'm in my 40s. I don't like change much. I like wearing the same shirts every day, the same shoes. I mean, it's pretty. You get to a point when you get old that you just do the same stuff every day. You think John Harbaugh wants to move towns, move homes
for the chance at a Super Bowl?
But he doesn't have to.
If he doesn't have to, if
he could go to Washington.
Washington's interested in moving off of Dan Quinn.
Yes. I mean, and none of these jobs that are open are close to the Super Bowl. None of them. Baltimore's the closest, and that's the job he just left. So in terms of the jobs that aren't open that potentially could be, Washington was in the NFC Championship game. Not open, but could be, and would have to, I think, have a very serious conversation about it. There's really not anybody else in the AFC to me that does. In the NFC, it would be Green Bay, would certainly be one of those, where if they decide to move off of LaFleur, you'd have to pay attention. But it's a pretty short list.
You know, we say none of these jobs that are open are close to a Super Bowl, but I feel like you can turn it quick. The Texans proved that a couple years ago. Now, they had a great draft. They were aggressive, and they got CJ, and they got Anderson. And that was just a couple years ago. I don't think anybody would be surprised if the Texans made it to the Super Bowl this year. And Washington flipped it.
Yeah.
Right? They had a regression this year, but they got the quarterback in Daniels. They might have made some questionable personnel moves this year, but Washington flipped it quickly. Like all of these teams, you just don't know in the NFL.
Buddy, there are two in the division, or there are two in the conference in the AFC that are your best examples. It's New England and Jacksonville. Both lost 13 games last year, and they're both in the postseason, having won 13 this year. Both have the quarterback. And that's the thing you're looking for. So that's why I say Green Bay, Washington. Like I look at that and I go, okay, they got the quarterback. If you're looking at the quarterback, you look at Tennessee. Nashville's everybody wants to live in Nashville. Like if you like Cam Ward, pretty good spot. Atlanta doesn't have the quarterback. Cleveland doesn't have the quarterback right now, at least not for sure. So those are the challenges. And then do you love Jackson Dart? I know I like Jaden Daniels. I know I like Jordan Love. Like those two guys I know. So, like, those are the known commodities of jobs that aren't open yet that if you're Harbaugh, you pay attention to. We got an old-fashioned Donnybrook last night. We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY. Then when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
This weekend, the Ohio RV and Boat Show, brought to you in part by Ohio Credit Union, is back and bigger than ever at the Ohio Expo Center. Whether it's your first adventure or you're a seasoned outdoor enthusiast, this show has it all. One ticket gets you into all three buildings so you can see the latest in RVs, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, golf carts, and more. From towables to drivers, jet skis to pontoons, and more. It's all here. The Ohio RV and Boat Show at the Ohio Expo Center, January 9th through 18th. Get details and tickets at OhioRVandBoatShow.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Back in the day, if you wanted to listen to The Fan, you turned on the radio, and that was the end of the story. But now, oh baby, stream us live on the Fan app, TuneIn app, iHeart app, we're everywhere. The Fan, Ohio's streaming destination.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Hey everybody, it's Berm here. I started Awaken 180 a little before the new year and I'm already down 20 pounds. Just 3 weeks. You could still hit that by the end of January with results like mine. Don't wait another week. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Front Office Sports with this. Fish shared this with me this morning. I thought it was pretty great. Tiger Woods is hosting a 300-person invite-only party. It's his 50th birthday at the Breakers in Palm Beach. Are you guys familiar with the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach?
No. Just a little.
Yeah, I've been there. We stayed there once. Man, it's been 15, 20 years ago. And at the time, it was pretty exorbitantly priced. I would say like $500 or $600 a night for a hotel room. Now it's like $2,000 a night for a hotel room. The property's pretty stunning. But so that, of course, that's where Tiger would hold a 50th birthday. The party has its own title sponsor because, of course, knowing Tiger and all the reputation on him, like kind of notoriously a little bit of a penny pincher when it comes to this type of stuff. So I'm sure that the party's going to be sponsored and paid for by somebody else. John Bon Jovi's going to sing. The dress code, wear a touch of red, and then a Masters Champions dinner themed menu. Here's what I'm most interested in with this. If you got an invitation to this and it says wear a touch of red, how are you dressing?
Just like Tiger Woods on Sunday. Red polo, black pants. Because I'm looking up on his Sunday red.
I was going to say Sunday red.
It's available.
I bet it is.
It's a red polo for $120.
Reese, you remember when I was trying to buy that and they wouldn't let me?
Yeah, for the longest time.
I was trying to buy that.
Did they ever send you an email that was like, hey, we got it available?
They did, yeah. It was like a month and a half later, they're like, well, now you can buy it if you want. I'm like, I'm not signing up to buy a polo on a lottery. Like, what are we talking about? How is this not available for the Masters, you fools? Yeah, touch of red, I think, is interesting. Like, is that's very funny. Like, just go straight with how he dresses on Sunday. Is it a coat and tie? Probably not. Yeah, good stuff. Very, very good stuff.
No, it's got to be, I don't know what business casual is anymore.
I know it's...
Pull up the Breakers. If you guys, pull it up.
I know it's Palm Beach, but like... Go like Miami Vice attire.
I guess you can't do full-on Hawaiian shirt and board shorts. I'd like to.
Nightly price with fees for the end of January, just a Sunday through Tuesday, by the way, not even a weekend, $1,686 a night for a room.
Chump change.
Do you guys know my theory on that? What hotels are doing? Have I told you guys this?
No.
My theory is that they used to be, we'll sell every room. And sometimes you can get them for cheaper because we make money if every room's sold out. My theory on this, and I have nothing to back this up other than circumstantial evidence, is that they aren't making all the rooms available and charging a bigger price for them so they can have less staff to clean and to maintain.
Makes sense.
So they have less people working there. They sell fewer hotel rooms even in massive properties at a higher premium, and the profit margin remains the same. That's my theory. Because how many people can afford $1,600 a night on a Monday night? I mean, that's a Monday, fellas. Like, so they're probably only making my theory is they're only making a certain amount of these rooms available. And they're charging more for them for the people who can afford it and don't think about it. We had a bit of a Donnybrook last night. Bake, did you watch this live?
Sure did.
God, you stayed and watched all that game.
I did.
How many years off your life has this franchise taken already? I mean, what is the toll?
I mean, that's tough to say because of the Reds and Browns and everybody else I root for. So who knows? These late night games, though, may start taking more of a toll than they used to. But It's just, and the funny thing is, they lose 5-2 to last night, but there's 2 empty net goals. They actually didn't play terrible. They just, I don't know.
We're in a results business, so
it's mistakes.
You're not going to win games. Like, it just is what it is. Like, they're not good. They're not a good team, bud.
Yeah,
it's
the
just
mistakes are just at the worst times, and they always almost end up in the back of the net.
Do me a favor. Pull up the box score if you haven't looked at it already, and give me the amount of ice time Celebrini got.
25-21, I believe, something like that.
I thought maybe you had that.
While Fantilli...
It's 16.
16. Marchenko, 17.
Yeah.
I think Charlie Coyle led the Jackets forwards time on ice.
I like those gritty guys out there that work hard. You did get a big fight, though. Were you watching that live?
Gosh, that was one for the ages right there.
We don't see those much.
Woo! I tweeted immediately about that one because that was, and it was all over Twitter. If you were up, it was all over Twitter immediately, too.
So is the Reeves guy that he fought, is that somebody who normally doesn't get owned like that?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Reeves for probably, I don't know if it was 10 years, but 5 years, the most feared guy in hockey.
Yeah.
And he was probably almost out of hockey. Like, he was in Toronto for a while, and people just kind of kept him around to protect young players. But Matthew Olivier is the heavyweight champion of the world now, and it's unquestioned.
Dominated him.
I mean, Reeves got some good punches in,
he
too.
Did. But I'm watching it right now. I guess he landed like 3 or 4 in a row right at the end. Reeves did.
Which Olivier just took him.
He took him. Didn't even
phase
flinch.
him. And kept throwing.
It's like the boxing scene in Rocky IV. Like, how many hits can Rocky and Drago take and just completely be unfazed? Just haymakers. That's Olivier last night in this.
Do you know what I want more than anything in the world, Bo?
Well, I can think of a couple of things, but I don't know the answer to this.
The Blue Jackets Cup?
The next big boxing match on Netflix, Matthew Olivier versus Jake Paul. That's what I want.
I don't think they'll let Jake Paul fight anymore.
He's done.
His jaw's going to heal.
2 plates in his face.
He's got a lot of money. He's got the best doctors.
You imagine having all that money and then choosing to fight like heavyweights? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Go find a better use of your time. All right, second hour of the program. By the way, it is a Hey Guys First Friday. Get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas. You can do so in the YouTube chat, also on the social at 971BFS, and we will get to those coming up in a little more than an hour from now. Get your officially endorsed as well. Coming up next, we'll do a little higher and lower with the NFL coaching vacancies. Jake Trotter on the college football playoff coming up at 10:30. Second hour up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, you know how it seems like everything just moves faster nowadays?
You mean like technology and all those crazy inventions?
Well, our furnace repair buyback program means you can slow down and take your time deciding what to do.
Get Eco.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
You're right, Jerry. If your furnace fails in the dead of winter, call us. We'll be right there to fix it the day you call.
Boom. We're there. It's fixed.
Get Eco.
But our repair buyback means you still have time to think it over in the warmth and comfort of your toasty warm home.
And if you decide you'd rather replace that old clunker instead of fixing it every year, we'll credit the money you spent on repairs against the purchase of a brand new furnace, up to $1,500.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
How long have you been working on that line?
Good poetry takes time, Aaron.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Thanks to your support, the nonprofits VetTix and First Tix have given away tens of millions of tickets and counting to vets currently serving military, the immediate family of troops killed in action, and our brave current and former first responders. These tickets are a meaningful way to say thank you to America's heroes. And now we want you to be part of the mission. Got extra tickets to concerts, games, or special events? Or want to see if you qualify? We want you to go to vettix.org and firsttix.org today. Give something to those who gave.
Your child is sick. With those 4 words, the innocence and joy of childhood disappears. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference. The power of play, happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
I lost count of how many foster homes I lived in. 20, maybe more. Each time, a new family, a new room, but never a space that felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room and decorated it myself. And just like my family, it's mine to keep.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home, even with the heat on, your old windows are the problem. Window Nation can help. Right now, during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale, you could get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. It's easy to get the right windows to fit your home and budget. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Schedule a consult now at windownation.com. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. About 19 Buckeyes have entered the transfer portal since the window opened last Friday. 5 have found new schools, including running back James Peoples, who committed to Penn State on Tuesday. Cornerback Bryce West committed to Wisconsin. Former 5-star wide receiver Quincy Porter is the most recent portal addition. He's got 4 years of eligibility left. Ohio State will also have to replace Carnell Tate next year. Number 17 became the first Buckeye with remaining eligibility to declare for the NFL draft. That takes place in Pittsburgh on April 23rd. In NFL news, the Ravens fired John Harbaugh on Tuesday. There are 7 current vacancies, including the Browns, who are going to interview Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken and Seahawks DC Aiden Duty. In the NHL last night, the Sharks beat the Blue Jackets 5-2 in San Jose. The basketball Buckeyes are headed west. Ohio State's at Oregon tomorrow night at 10:30. Hear from OSU's head coach today at noon as the Jake Diebler radio show hits the fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. We'll get to Jake Trotter in about 29 minutes from now. Time now for a little higher or lower. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Oh, baby.
It's Aiden Dirty, not Aiden Duty. Just to correct the update anchor.
It's all right. You're fine.
USA Today. Well, this isn't USA Today. This is from NFL.com. Judy Batista, who writes for NFL.com and also appears on the NFL Network, ranked the 7 coaching vacancies, the 7 current coaching vacancies. If like one happens in the next 10 minutes, it's not going to be on this thing. But we could rank it if that happens throughout the show, because I don't think, and I'll start with this, Bo, you might not think, Baker, you might not think there are going to be 7 total vacancies, at least in the next couple of weeks.
Which one am I missing? Cleveland, Atlanta, Tennessee, Giants, Vegas, Baltimore. Who am I missing?
You say Arizona?
Arizona.
That's it.
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon got the boot on Monday.
All right, before we start this, let's I think there are two different silos here of jobs. And so this is really in the eye of the beholder of the coach in terms of what you want. There are jobs that are total resetters. So Atlanta is a total reset job. Right? Coach, GM, reset. I think all the rest of them, the general manager is being retained. I think. Pretty sure. So there's that. The other thing is there's one that's like, hey, go. You want this job? Go win the Super Bowl. Like that's the expectation with one of them. Atlanta's kind of in the middle, and then the other ones are kind of pivot/rebuilds. So I think this is going to be pretty fascinating discussion. Go ahead, Reese.
So number 1 on this list, again, NFL.com's Judy Batista, their senior national columnist, says the Baltimore Ravens are the best available job amongst the 7. At 2, she's got the New York Giants. At 3, she's got the Cleveland Browns. At 4, the Atlanta Falcons. Higher or lower for Atlanta at 4?
All right. So, wow. Okay. So Baltimore is the no-brainer 1 because you're ready-made. Now, your pressure is by far the highest. The expectation is by far the highest. The feeling in Baltimore is go win the Super Bowl. Like, when's the last time a job like that came open? Where the expectation is go win the Super Bowl? Maybe like Indianapolis when Tony Dungy left? And Manning was still there? I mean, there aren't many. I mean, just think of the best players in the sport, all the MVP winners over the last 25 years. When have they ever been? When is the last time that an MVP was available to be coached? Still in his prime. And I'm asking that question. I don't know the answer. Manning's the best I can do when Tony Dungy retired. That's the best one I can think of. Everybody else has been like they have their coaches. You get one of those guys, you keep them. So that's the best one I can think of. So I think that's right to be number 1, but you're signing up for a lot of pressure. And I do wonder if Baltimore is the type of job where somebody who isn't currently available to coach would want to become available to coach. So kind of the inverse of the John Harbaugh. Is there a coach out there? Like if you're LaFleur and you're like, man, Green Bay doesn't like me, blank this. I'm going to go coach Baltimore. Like, I'll do that. Sign me up for that. I wonder if some of that could happen. But this is the best one for sure because you have the 2-time MVP.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close that it's Baltimore number 1. The Atlanta Falcons were the team in question here, and they're at number 4. So on my list, I have the Falcons number 3. I have Baltimore number 1. I have the New York Giants number 2. Because I just think they've got some really good young pieces there. I don't know if Jackson Dart is a franchise quarterback, but I think he's good enough with what they've got and that attitude and swagger they've kind of started there. So I like what the New York Giants have. I have them number 2, and then I have Atlanta number 3 here. I think Atlanta has some pieces as well, and they have kind of 2 options at quarterback now. Maybe that changes because of the restructuring of Kirk Cousins and maybe who moves on. But you've still got Michael Penix, who I think there's a lot there. It hasn't been great for him so far, but I think there's a lot to work with him. So I would have Atlanta number 3. I would have them just a fuzz higher.
I'd have Atlanta 2 because I think you have 2 capable quarterbacks there. I think Cousins played well down the stretch, and I think Penix is more than fine. And you have a ton of weaponry, and you also have a division that is very winnable. I mean, they just won. Carolina won the division at 8-9. Like, you can get to there in no time in Atlanta. You have ownership that's locked in. You got a city that a lot of people like to live in. So I go Baltimore, Atlanta 2. Then it's in the eye of the beholder in terms of what you're looking for. Like, do you like... I like Cam Ward more than Jackson Dart. So I would... But Jackson Dart's got some more weapons, although it's injured weaponry. So that's a little interesting. I think Cleveland's like in that mix, somewhere in there. But they have a Super Bowl defense, and if you land the quarterback, or if you believe in the quarterbacks on their roster, if you believe in Shedeur Sanders, you can flip that pretty quickly. And they're going to draft a bunch of offensive linemen and weapons, and they'll be active in the free agency on that too. And you have ownership who's willing to pay. So I think Cleveland's somewhere in this mix. But I think it's clearly Baltimore, then Atlanta, and then a conversation around your preference at quarterback.
All right, so after the Falcons 4 on this list, the Arizona Cardinals at 5, the Tennessee Titans at 6. Higher or lower for Arizona at 5?
I think Arizona's the worst job in the mix. I think it's the worst job by far. You have, what do you have other than the fact that you get to live your lifestyle? It's probably the most desirable place to live is Arizona, but in terms of the football situation, it's brutal. You have ownership that is notoriously penny pinching and won't get things done. You have a quarterback situation that is completely in flux. They're obviously moving off of Kyler. Like, that's something that wasn't talked about much this year. They're obviously moving off of him, but what's the answer at quarterback? You're not picking first or second, so you're not going to get one of the quarterbacks there. I don't know what's going on with the route man. I don't know how he hasn't panned out there, but he hasn't. So I think Arizona's the worst job. I don't think it's particularly close. I would have Arizona dead last on this. I'd have it 7. And I think the only thing it kind of has going for it is, and this is a big thing for me personally because I'm getting old, it'd be nice to be warm all the time. So just personally, I'd like that job because I'd like to live, somewhere in the Valley of the Sun. But at the same time, I think from a football operation, it's definitely the worst.
So I have Arizona lower at 6. I have Vegas as the worst because I just think there's not... I don't think Vegas has, outside of Brock Bowers, I don't think they have a lot going for them. They do have the number 1 pick.
They have Genty. They have the number 1 pick. They've got Bowers. They've got Crosby.
Genty, but
You've
Crosby's leaving, they're saying.
Well, we'll see. But you're going to get a bounty for him. You're going to get 2 1s for him.
I guess I just believe in the players and the weapons that Arizona have a little more than Vegas. So I have Arizona at 6, 1 spot lower than 5, and I have Vegas bringing up the rear there.
I think Vegas, to me, is a little bit of a sleeping giant. I'm going to give you the kind of the reason for it. Number one, it's a city all these guys want to live in. Everybody wants to live in Vegas, not just because of Sin City and all that comes with that, but because there's no state tax in Nevada. So your checks are going to go a lot further there. So to me, I like that. I like the fact that I get to pick my quarterback. I can either pick Mendoza or Moore, whichever one I like better. So I like that. I've already got a stud running back in Genty. Now, I would have taken a running back that high, but that's not my problem. That's a previous regime's problem, and he's good. So give me that. I got a stud in Bowers at tight end. And if I trade Crosby, I'm going to get a bounty in return. So I can turn that into weaponry right away. The other part with Vegas is they've already taken the private equity money. That's how they're paying for all of this. Remember, this isn't Mark Davis's money anymore. They sold a portion of that franchise, and so now they're a little bit liquid too. So I think Vegas is in a much better spot than Arizona. Arizona, other than the place to live, there's nothing there. I see. I think that's a mess.
So the DraftKings Sportsbook has odds for John Harbaugh, where he's going to land.
Give me it.
Giants have the best odds, plus 150. The Raiders, plus 450. Falcons, Titans, Browns at plus 1,000.
Do they have Washington on it?
I do not have Washington on the board.
Yeah. I think Washington's got it. I mean, he's in their backyard. That's such a no-brainer. I mean, you could see him in Vegas, but, like, if you're him, do you want to sign up for that? I guess if you love Mendoza or Moore, I mean, you're picking number 1, so you're going to get your quarterback. So if you love one of those 2 quarterbacks, now Harbaugh's probably done no work on either one of them because he thought he was going to have Lamar and wasn't going to have to worry about those things. But if you love one of those guys, then that's a spot. And Vegas is a great place to live and all the stuff that comes with it. Big pocketbooks now that they got the private equity money in there. So I think Tennessee, too, is another one. Now, I don't know if that ownership is one that can make that situation be as good as it is, but that's one of the hottest zip codes in the country. So many people want to live in Nashville. That is what most people think is a true blue franchise quarterback in Cam Ward, and an ability to surround him with a bunch of talent while moving into a new domed stadium. So if that ownership is locked in, that Nashville situation can be pretty sweet. It's also pretty crazy that they went Tennessee on the name and not Nashville.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Want to kind of lean into one of the sexier cities, at least.
Yeah.
More recently in the country. But the stadium thing's an interesting point because not only are they willing to spend now, but they're going to be extra aggressive the closer you get to that thing opening.
Of course. Yeah.
And probably similar to the Browns.
For sure.
But
you're never going to have any
the Titans.
You can have concerns about the Browns, and historically, I certainly get that. You're not going to have any concerns about the willingness to spend. None. They will spend. Like they will, if there's opportunity that they believe can make the team better, they will spend to make sure that they do it. Speaking of spending, all four of the teams remaining in the college football's playoff have spent wildly in the portal, and it paid off bigly. We'll take an early look at these games. They start tomorrow with Miami and Ole Miss. It is insane to think that is a national semifinal, but it is. We will get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
It's the biggest sale of the year, the Right Rug Flooring Clearance Sale. Save on thousands of in-stock styles, including carpet starting at 35 cents a square foot. Luxury vinyl starts at 43 cents a square foot. Hardwood and laminate start at 99 cents. Prices are material only. Unbelievable deals on beautiful quality floors. Next day installation and 24-month special financing available with approved credit. Hurry, the Right Rug Flooring Clearance Sale ends January 25th. Right here, right now.
Chronic pain can feel like it's never going to end. But at QC Kinetics here in Columbus, there is a new treatment providing rapid relief. It's called stem wave therapy.
It has fundamentally changed the way I look at cases after 30 years in practice. So when we talk about regenerative medicine, we're talking about these types of devices.
Dr. Tony DeCesaro, one of the nation's authorities on stem wave therapy.
So basically, it's a healing machine. They cause the body to help to heal by increasing blood flow.
This is more than treatment. It's hope.
So this device being a healing device, when I talk to my patients about it, I tell them it's diagnostic and therapeutic. We're going to find out today if it's right for you.
Right now, you can try your first treatment for just $49 and see if StemWave is the right option for you. Only $49, with many patients reporting relief within the next day.
It's about giving hope.
QC Kinetics. Harness the power of StemWave and get relief now. Call for your consultation here in Columbus. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Statistics show that roughly 20 veterans die by suicide every day in the United States. Canines for Warriors is the leading nonprofit organization providing highly trained service dogs to veterans with PTSD and other invisible wounds of war. Backed by scientific research, Canines for Warriors has transformed the lives of more than 1,000 veterans, helping them reclaim their independence. To find out more, please visit caninesforwarriors.org.
Enough already.
We can do more.
Enough already. We can find a cure.
Enough already.
We can do better for our kids.
Enough already. We are relying on you.
We can come together to support Children's Cancer Research Fund, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending childhood cancer that is on the front line of breakthroughs. Because
it's enough already.
Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Jake Diebler's Buckeyes hit the road for a Big Ten battle with Oregon.
Live fan coverage starts Thursday night at 9:30 with the tip at 10:30.
Every game, every season. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Have you ever thought about having a podiatric physician examine your feet? Doctors of Podiatric Medicine set broken bones, perform wound care, and remove bunions. Common health issues that they treat include ingrown or fungal nails, corns, warts, and skin problems like athlete's foot. Foot exams are easy and can prevent many foot problems. If you can't walk, work, or enjoy sports activities without pain, what are you waiting for? To find a podiatric physician who is a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect skies to be mostly cloudy today, but still mild with above average temperatures in the upper 40s. And then for tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows around freezing. For Thursday, a dry day ahead with mostly cloudy skies and warmer with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Rain develops late Thursday night, overnight into Friday with gusty winds and lows in the 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. We're proudly sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for nearly 80 years. They're the best. Absolutely. Tell them Bo sent you. 2 locations, Sawmill, Easton. They will take care of you on that side of things. Do you have a rooting interest in this? Miami, Ole Miss tomorrow night. Oregon, Indiana on Friday night. Fiesta Bowl will be first, then the Peach Bowl that will follow. That game will be on Friday. If you're saying to yourself, does it make any geographical sense to take 2 Southeastern Conference teams and play them, or 2 Southeastern United States team and have them go to Arizona and have one as far as you can get West team and a Midwest team play in the Deep South? No, is the answer. The smart thing to do on this would have been very simply to send Oregon and Indiana to the Fiesta Bowl and have Miami and Ole Miss play in the Peach Bowl. But, of course, there's no common sense in any of this. It's just utter nonsense across the board with everybody in charge of all of this. I began with, do you have a rooting interest? I should let you guys answer. Do you?
Indiana.
Oh, I can't live in that world.
If I'm just rooting for a team.
I went into this after Ohio State lost and thought I was rooting for Oregon, which is crazy to me. But after watching the last round of games, I'm very torn because I think this Indiana and Cignetti story is ridiculous, but I think the Trinidad Chambliss story might be even better. And the way he played, he did a lot of things that a quarterback shouldn't do in that game, but he got away with it, and he made plays. So I'm torn. I just want Indiana and Ole Miss playing in the final, I feel like.
That is a game that 3 years ago is a noon kick on ESPN2.
Depending on...
That's your Beth Mowens.
If you're in Oxford for that game.
Pam Ward.
But if you're in Bloomington, that's like Big Ten Network Plus.
PTN Plus. My God. I think you hit it, though. I think the team I'm rooting for most is Ole Miss, just from a chaos perspective. And I don't know. I've always been a fan of Lane Kiffin because I'm a fan of interesting, and he's an interesting guy. I wouldn't want to be involved with him in any way. Like, I wouldn't want him near my program. I wouldn't want him, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want him near that, even if he was 30-some years older. Like, I wouldn't want really anything in the vicinity of him. But at the same time, like, in doing what we do, we like people who are interesting, and he's very, very interesting. But the idea, first of all, he clearly thought Georgia was beating them. Clearly. There is no way that he would have let all of those assistants who were at Ole Miss, including Charlie Weiss, coach Ole Miss if he thought that there was a snowball's chance in hell that they were going to beat Georgia. There is no way he thought that. No way. So once that happened, now he's in the situation of he is undermining himself. Ole Miss is undermining Kiffin, and Kiffin is complicit. Because how good was he of a coach if this Ole Miss team is beating Miami from playing for a national championship? So how good is he then? Now, he signed this roster, and he recruited the roster, and he portaled the roster, and he Trinidad Chambliss finding him from off the scrap heap, Ferris State. Is that where it was? Division II?
In Michigan.
Yeah, and so, okay, you credit there. But in terms of the actual coaching, There's been no drop-off. None. In fact, this Ole Miss team did something that when Kiffin was coaching it couldn't. It beat Georgia. So from a rooting standpoint, I keep getting pulled in that direction. I do. Now, I'm also, and this is, you guys know where I stand on the state. I can't live in a world where Indiana wins a national championship.
I have absolutely nothing I want to do in Indiana.
Nothing I want to do. So I can't, and I got buddy is an alumnus, another buddy whose son goes there now, and he's a freshman. He's having the time of his life. I can't live in a world where Indiana wins a national championship in football. I just can't. Not with that pothole situation that they've got on those freeways. Take care of your state, kids. I can't have you be rewarded with a national championship. Now, there would be a little bit of humor that would come from it in the idea that Indiana won a football national championship more recently than Notre Dame. That would have a little bit of humor for me.
I do. It's tough to root for Miami because of the recency in which they dispatched Ohio State. But the idea to the Notre Dame point that it was between Miami, Alabama, and Notre Dame. Yeah. And Notre Dame fans were, saying how their resume was better than Miami's. But Miami was like, well, we beat you in the game. Yeah. And Notre Dame fans forever just wanted to ignore that. Like, there's part of me that would want to see Miami win it all. Just to have Notre Dame fans, just to have one more thing that Notre Dame fans could not say anything about.
Yeah, there's. I don't know where I stand on Miami.
It's tough.
College football, I think, is better when that school is good. It would wreck your bit, Reese.
Oh, like the bit's wrecked. They're in a college football playoff semifinal. They are.
It's done.
Back. Yeah, I can't sit here and be like, oh, they'll be back next year because this is back.
This is back, yeah. U's back. The one thing about of these teams that are direct threats to Ohio State in terms of how roster building goes about its business, Miami and Oregon are the two that are the biggest threats to that, for sure. Like, I don't know how many times you're going to be in any sort of recruiting or portal battle with Ole Miss. And even as it stands right now, you're not really in recruiting or portal visits with Indiana. Now, Cignetti is doing it. Next year will be his third straight year of a new transfer quarterback. He's building the roster year over year in the portal entirely.
Yeah, they're not getting a starter from high school and developing him.
No way. And I don't know if you should anymore, honestly. Like, I don't know if you should. Have him go play and develop somewhere else and then have him paratroop in. He got the Hoover kid from TCU, right? Isn't that who he's got coming in there next year? Along with Thrash, the receiver, is coming from Michigan State. So he had himself a nice little weekend. So he's just going to continue to do that. But those aren't necessarily guys that Ohio State is – they're not in on those type of guys. They're not interested in those type of guys. So I'm sure they were interested in Thrash, but probably not at the price point that Indiana was interested in him. So Indiana's going to go about it a different way. Cignetti's figured this out. He wants 21, 22, and 23-year-olds. He even says this in all of his interviews. Our team is old. We're experienced. Like, he doesn't want kids. He wants old guys who have played a lot of football. Now, the one thing that hasn't happened to them yet is they have not had an injury. Not a major one. I mean, Surratt was hurt a little bit. Obviously, was hurt in the Ohio State game, and so, but he bounced back and he played in the game against Alabama, obviously. But they haven't had that big injury yet that's tested their depth. But that's kind of the only thing they don't have. But in terms of the biggest threats to the Buckeyes and how the Buckeyes build their roster, in terms of having to deal with it, it's Miami and Oregon. Those are the two that they go head to head with those two all the time for players, high school and portal. Like, those are the two that are the much bigger threat. Of the one that's probably feels like it's paid the most dues and would be the most, for whatever this is worth in modern college football, the most deserving of a national title, that's Oregon. I mean, they've been this is over 20 years now since Joey Harrington was on a billboard in Times Square. It's 20 years of Phil Knight uniforms. It's a bunch of different coaches through the years, from Bellotti to Chip to Helfrich to, was it Willie Taggart to Cristobal, and inevitably to Dan Lanning. Did I do it? I think I did it.
Yeah.
Did I get them all? Good. Yeah. So they've paid their dues on this side of things, and they would be the team that if you wake up on the Tuesday, January 20th, you would say to yourself, if Oregon wins a national title, that was a long time coming. It would feel a lot like Clemson winning it, I think. when they finally won it. It just kind of like, okay, they finally did it. They've been knocking on the door forever. They finally knocked the door down. I think that's how Oregon would feel for college football if they did it.
Well, by the way, speaking of billboards in New York City, did you see Texas Tech taking out the billboard in Times Square for Brendan Sorsby?
Yep, I sure did.
I wonder how many people looking at that billboard go, what's a Texas Tech?
Oh, man.
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
What's the point of this thing?
Did you guys watch much of him this year? I don't think I saw him play a game.
BYU games. Oh, no,
Okay.
Sorry. I saw both BYU. I saw Texas Tech twice. 3 times, I guess. BYU
No, not Texas
Oregon.
Tech. Cincinnati.
No.
Did you watch Sorsby play
I feel
at all?
like I remember Sorsby more from Indiana than
I don't remember
Cincinnati, knowing that he was at Indiana. And
no, like when they put him as at the top portal quarterback, I'm like, he's better than Leavitt? Did I miss something? So we'll see if Leavitt finds a home. But one thing that we can say for sure is you have 4 teams playing in the college football semifinals. All 4 of them have transfer quarterbacks in their quarterbacking their chances. So that's where the sport is, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Jake Trotter was at the game between the Buckeyes, of course, and the Canes, and he'll have a spot. My hunch is, I haven't talked to Jake about this, my hunch is he will be in Atlanta for Oregon, Indiana. He's kind of been on the Midwest beat, so we'll get some perspective from him in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more. Designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Now's the time to buy or renew your 2026 dog licenses. Not only are dog licenses required by law, but fees support the Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center. Buy or renew your dog licenses today at franklincountyauditor.com.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Indeed it is, and he joins on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll get into all the games in a second, but you were down at the Ohio State game, of course, and I'm curious, as you've gone through this season, we're in the middle of this portal, which is just complete and utter chaos, and of course the adults built the room, and now they got to live in it. If you were running a college football program of the Oklahoma-Ohio State variety right now, a true blue blood, how would you build your roster?
Like, how much would I use the portal? I mean, you got to use the portal a lot, and you can get really good players in the portal. I mean, look at what Ohio State has done in the portal. Getting guys like Will Howard and Caleb Downs and Seth McLaughlin and Max Clare. I think if you're at Ohio State, you still got to get your Jeremiah Smiths, your Carnell Tates. You've got to recruit and try to get the best classes you can get, but it's only part of the game anymore. And you're not going to keep those entire classes, and you've got to supplement it with really good quality, if not, all conference, all American caliber portal acquisition. So you've got to do it, through recruiting, but you got to do it through the portal as well.
I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, I would not get into a bidding war for an 18-year-old anymore. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't think you need to. Yeah, no way.
Yeah, if you're going to spend that money, spend it on a proven commodity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm with you.
And I do this, and even unless it's Jeremiah Smith, but there aren't many of those that are like walk in the door first year starters. But just do the quarterback conversation, Jake. As good as Julian was, he was a Heisman finalist. Like, if you are a program like this, I mean, just look at Sam Leavitt. Like, he could be the quarterback at LSU next year, and they don't have to develop him. He's already developed. Why go through growing pains?
I mean, how many teams are going to have a portal starting quarterback next season? It feels like half of college football, at least the Power Four.
Well, as you know,
it's that much, but it's a lot.
The 4 teams that are playing for the national title all have transfer quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's right. Dante Moore from UCLA, Mendoza from Cal, back from Georgia, and
Chambliss.
Yeah,
Ferris State.
Yeah, I know. And look, I'm trying to think. Even last year, Ewers technically was a transfer.
Yep.
Will Howard, obviously.
Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard was, and
the only one that wasn't
was the exception. Yeah,
he was the only one. Yeah, I don't think you do it that way anymore.
It is quarterback free agency right now. There's a lot of moving parts at all positions, but I mean, even the Damon Williams thing now, the quarterback at Washington, he's under contract. He's trying to leave. Who knows how that's going to go? At least we only have one period now, but it is the calendar is so screwed up. I mean,
it's a mess.
We don't even know who's coaching Ole Miss tomorrow, and I think the Brian Hartline thing didn't help Ohio State. It's a tough. Everybody has to deal with it. I mean, Oregon is losing both coordinators, and they've overcome it to this point. The Ole Miss situation is the most difficult that anyone has had to deal with in the playoff. But, it did feel like after Hartline took the South Florida job, like Ohio State's offense, I'm not blaming that on why they lost those 2 games, but the offense didn't play well in the postseason. Didn't play the way it did during the regular season. And I know that competition was better. Indiana and Miami, probably the 2 best defenses they faced by far. But it just feel like they were a little bit discombobulated offensively.
Yeah, and I was shocked, and as I watched, on New Year's Eve and watching that thing going, I cannot believe they're not going tempo. I couldn't believe that they didn't at some point do that. And the problem with it is it was just like the Indiana game. You eliminate your margin for error. And when they punted with 6 minutes, I'm like, I don't know if you get it back, because you basically need you need at most a 6 and out. Like, it can't go much more than that. The way college football and the clock works now, there's not enough time to come back from those things. And I think it came back to bite them because they didn't learn from the Indiana experience really at all, Jake.
Ohio State had so few possessions in these games. I mean, the Indiana game in the second half, like, you go back and look, and those 2 drives, I mean, they basically had like 3 or 4 drives the entire second half.
Well, and the fourth didn't even really count because they had no...
It didn't count.
Yeah,
didn't count because there was just a few seconds left. I mean, that's kind of the team that Ohio State became. I don't know if they intentionally wanted to slow it down that much. And, the other part of it, too, and this is something they're going to have to address personnel-wise, they just got crushed up front in those 2 games. Got absolutely obliterated. When you lose the battle at the line of scrimmage, that's kind of been, where Ohio State's gone down. You look at the Michigan game last year, blown up at the line of scrimmage, and then these 2 games, Indiana and Miami, that's where those games were lost. I mean, I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that Miami was able to get pressure on Sayin and kind of control the line of scrimmage defensively. I just thought that Miami defensive line was so talented that was going to be potentially problematic. I think we talked about it before the game. Like, that's the one area Miami, was going to be able to make some hay. I was kind of surprised that offensively Miami just wore Ohio State down, and won that battle too, as good as the Ohio State front had been all year defensively.
It was exactly like the Indiana game, right? Like the defense did more than enough to win, but when they needed a 3 and out,
couldn't get
Mendoza made plays and Beck made plays.
Yeah, I was surprised that Ohio State didn't get the ball back at the end. I thought if they did, they were going to win because they had figured it out in the second half what to do. You know, they were running between the tackles instead of trying to stretch. Jeremiah Smith was unstoppable, and you just felt like he was going to get another opportunity there on that last drive, but they couldn't get the stop again. So it was a really good team. It's hard to win back-to-back national championships. That's why it's happened so seldom over the years. And we thought that this team, had a chance to do it, but they just never got to that level that last year's team got to.
No.
Last year's team cranked it up in the postseason and got to a level that we thought they might be able to get to, but, hadn't seen it. And this team just never got there.
No, they didn't. And now they're at home trying to figure out how to put a team together for next year and what all of that looks like with 19 guys in the portal and all this other stuff. But everybody's dealing with these issues. You've been around this sport a long time, buddy, and made your bones covering it in the young days and now back. And it's always great to have you back on the college football side of things. But wrap your head around the idea that Ole Miss and Indiana could play for a national title. I mean, this is a sport. I mean, it's most similar to European soccer. Like the haves remain the haves forever. The have-nots don't ever become the haves. Those are both have-nots who are now haves.
Yeah, Oregon is kind of a good comp for Indiana because let's just go back to like the 90s. There's really only one other team that almost broke through that kind of came out of nowhere, like didn't have the facilities, the recruiting infrastructure, the tradition, et cetera. It was Kansas State under Bill Snyder.
Yeah.
And they came an overtime away in the 98 Big 12 championship against A&M from playing for the national championship. They were number one in the country. They lost at the end and never really got to that point again, even though they had some really good teams. Ohio State played a couple of them. Oregon is the only other like non-name program, and they weren't a name program because they were not relevant until the 21st century. And they did it with Nike and the uniforms and the offense and the tempo and Phil Knight, all that stuff. What Indiana has done is unprecedented. Like there's no, that I can recall, at least in my lifetime, and really probably the history of college football, where a program that was like an absolute nobody could win a national championship. It just hasn't happened. It's happened in hoops. It's happened in other sports, but in football, it just hasn't happened. And I wonder if you look at, now Cincinnati is one of one. Like there's not other Cincinnati's out there, but you look at their team and what they were able to do with the JMU transfers and then some other smart transfer moves they've made with Curtis Rourke from Ohio U and then Mendoza from Cal. They've got Hoover from TCU coming in next year, presumably to be the starting quarterback. So they've kind of supplemented the roster that way. But if you're a program trying to make a quick turn and you don't have the tradition, go hire an awesome group of 5 coaches that's going to bring his team with him. And
that's Oklahoma State, right?
It's Oklahoma State. I was actually texting somebody there yesterday about all their North Texas transfers. And this person was telling me, all these kids are really impressive, and we got a chance to be, pretty good right away because they've got like 7 or 8 all American Conference players coming in, including, arguably the best quarterback transfer available this year, and Drew Mestemaker. And then all those guys have experience in the system and playing together. I'm not saying they're going to be Indiana, but that's kind of the model, that if you're an Oklahoma State and you're trying to, do what Indiana did, it's possible. Like there's a blueprint for it to be really good, really fast with really good experienced players that have experience playing under their coach. So the portal has really established a parity, but again, that's not even taking anything away from Indiana, because I don't know that we're ever going to see anything like this again. It's remarkable. And they're not only are they like making this run, they're the best team. Like, I don't know if they're going to win it all. They're the best team in college football this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I've never seen anything in college athletics ever. Like, there's nothing that's like what he's done there. They're the losingest program in the history of the sport. And he's done this.
They had not won double-digit games since like they had not had a undefeated. They've never had an undefeated season. Let me put this: it's their first perfect season ever.
Yes,
they had an undefeated season where they had like a tie in the 40s.
Yep,
but they've never been like this.
No, this is impossible, and he's on the precipice of it now. Are you going to be there?
I am not. I was going to go to Arizona if the Buckeyes had won.
Okay.
And now I'm going to be at home watching, which is fine. I'm trying to get over this flu that like won't go away. But yeah, golly, this is a rough year for that. And we'll see what the Browns do too. Now that they got a head coach to go get.
They do, yeah. Going to be very interesting over the next couple of weeks up there as well. Always good talking to you, my friend. Thanks for your time.
All right, see you, Bill. Enjoy.
There he goes, Jake Trotter, ESPN senior college football reporter, joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Jake Diebler Show, brought to you by Encova Insurance. Jake, we've seen some combinations from your front court this year, but Ivan Yagovin, Christopher Tilley, having them on the floor at the same time against Grambling State, 2 7-footers, is that something we could see a little bit more as conference play develops?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you look at the size of the Big Ten, and certainly as we built this roster, we wanted to have the flexibility and versatility to be able to play those guys together, and we worked on it this summer. We've worked on it at times. This offseason we're starting to do it more, gearing up for Big Ten play. So we absolutely feel like having that available will be important down the stretch.
All right, we'll have another comment right after
time. All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Jake, in terms of developing your bench or guys that you know maybe are capable, what do you say to motivate them to get them to the level they can play at here in this conference slate coming up?
Be aggressive and play to your strengths. Making sure they understand how much we believe in them, and I think, giving them an opportunity, and then when they're out there, they got to make the most of it. Just be aggressive, play to your strengths, play with a clear mind. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid. We don't want to do anything out of fear in this program. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just, really just impact winning. Those are the conversations we're having, defining what that looks like, providing clarity for our guys so they can go out and be their best.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X, and of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice from Toyota. Let's go places.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, you know how it seems like everything just moves faster nowadays?
You mean like technology and all those crazy inventions?
Well, our furnace repair buyback program means you can slow down and take your time deciding what to do.
Get Eco.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
You're right, Jerry. If your furnace fails in the dead of winter, call us. We'll be right there to fix it the day you call.
Boom. We're there. It's fixed.
Get Eco.
But our repair buyback means you still have time to think it over in the warmth and comfort of your toasty warm home.
And if you decide you'd rather replace that old clunker, instead of fixing it every year, we'll credit the money you spent on repairs against the purchase of a brand new furnace, up to $1,500.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
How long have you been working on that line?
Good poetry takes time, Aaron.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, still time to get your Hey Guys questions you can do go in the YouTube chat or also on the social at 971BFS. We will take those there. Winner getting the $50 to our great friends at High Bank. Time now for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the Master Griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Someone snuck in a baseball thing.
Oh, God.
Bob Nightingale of USA Today reported that Kyle Schwarber rejected an above-market offer from the Cincinnati Reds this offseason. Nightingale says the Reds were willing to offer more money than the $150 million he ended up re-signing with the Philadelphia Phillies. Schwarber is from Middleton, that's just north of Cincinnati. Thing or not a thing?
All right. So he signed 5 years, $150.
Correct.
All right. So he's made in his career already over $100 million in his career. So it's a massive payday, even for somebody who's made a lot. It's a massive payday on top of that. The reason I bring that up is if you were Kyle Schwarber and you had the ability to play on a team like Philly that plays in front of packed houses always, that contends for World Series always, that is in the mix and is going to spend not just on you but on the rest of the roster, or you could go to Cincinnati, which is close to where you grew up, for more money. I think you probably learned the lessons of Ken Griffey Jr. And you say, I think, no, I'm going to go here. I'd like to win, and the money's going to spend, and I'll be fine with that. I don't think there's the home allure. I don't think it's there like it used to be 30 years ago for professional athletes. I don't.
Especially when that home is Cincinnati. And I'm not saying that Philadelphia is a greater place than Cincinnati. But when you have chances to go to warmer weather cities, bigger cities, things like that, that can be appealing to a lot of guys. And as you mentioned, winning a little more. I think this is an interesting thing, and Bob Nightingale is very, very good at his job. But all the reports were back when this signing happened is the Reds offered 5 years, $125 million. So I wonder who Bob Nightingale is talking to and who wants to get this information out there and if this information is correct, because a lot of people made it sound like the Reds just made an offer because they had to, because he lived close to there and he was kind of interested in coming to Cincinnati. If they offered more, that would be a whole change to this story. And I just don't know, especially with the Cincinnati Reds in their front office, if this is true.
Does Bob have a connection in Cincinnati, Reese?
I don't
Does his
think.
son cover them or something?
I think Bob used to cover them.
Well, so I think there are two Bob Nightingales. There's a Bob and a Bobby Nightingale, and
Right.
I think we've had both on our program. And I think Bobby Nightingale, I think was at least last in Milwaukee. When I read this, because I thought the same thing to him, like there's no way the Reds could have offered more than this. But if that's what maybe Schwarber's agent or another agent is telling Bob, I think that's maybe where the narrative comes from, likely more than a source covering the actual Reds.
Yeah.
Because, the Reds can offer more than the Phillies was kind of a wild thing to read. With 7 minutes and 57 seconds left in Monday's NBA game between the Warriors and Clippers, Golden State's Steve Kerr was ejected following a non-goaltending call on LA's John Collins. The Warriors ended up losing that game 103-102. Snoop Dogg was on the Peacock broadcast and had the call.
Back him up, GP, back him up, Steve ready to fire on him. He's already gone. Steve banging Inglewood right now. Inglewood, get him, Steve. You in Inglewood, Steve. The Arizona Wildcat that came out and look at him.
Thing or not a thing?
Okay. This might make me watch the NBA. Is this regular? Does this happen on the reg?
I don't think so. It should.
How was I not aware of this, Reese?
What was
How do I
Monday
not know?
night? Didn't you have basketball practice?
I did,
plus
but
FCS championship.
I did, but at the same time, I should have come into my wavelength that my close personal friend, Mr. Dog, was doing color.
He didn't text you?
No, he should have. Let me know. I mean, we have fist bumped. We gotta. That's crazy that he's. I mean, that's unbelievable. And also, just as unbelievable is if you would have told me that the 15-year-old me, that Snoop Dogg would be the face of NBC's Olympic coverage, and on their basket, I would have said you're out of your mind. No chance. We're a long ways from gin and juice, boys.
So this is an amazing thing. This is hilarious. That he's here right when Steve Kerr gets ejected, and you get all of that. Was this just a bit? Was he just there for a little bit, or was he doing the whole game? Because if this is just a momentary part of the game, I'm okay with it. I don't know if I could do the whole game.
He was on the call the entire broadcast.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do the whole game with Snoop Dogg.
I misspoke. The second half.
Even like Manning cast, I think a little bit.
He popped on, after halftime.
Even that is a lot, and good on him, but Snoop is everywhere. Are we getting too much Snoop? Like you said, he's on the Olympics. He does the voice or whatever. He's popping up at half. Snoop is everywhere. Are we getting too much Snoop? Is that possible?
Not yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I want to say this was promotion for that Olympics because he's going to be doing a lot of their coverage, a lot of their special coverage.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get Mr. Dog updates from Milan Cortina when that happens, in about 30 days from now?
He had the softest hands I've ever shook. Snoop.
I buy that.
Just well taken
A lot of lotion?
Lots of moisturizer. He was in a good spot.
ESPN reported earlier this week the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young are working on a trade. The Hawks and Young's agents have maintained dialogue over his future over the past several months. The franchise elected not to offer an extension for the 27-year-old. He led Atlanta to the postseason 3 times in his 8 seasons, including a run to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. He's currently out because of a right quad contusion, was an All-NBA selection in 21 and 22. He's averaged 25.2, 9.8 assists per game. He led the league in assists last season with 11.6. Thing or not a thing?
I guess it depends on where he goes and what the next kind of version of his career is. Atlanta is very lucky. They get a lot of deserved heck for this. But remember, they traded Luka Doncic for him. They swapped. Like that, they could have had Luka. That could have been in the mix. But Trae's been really good. I mean, he's been an All-NBA. He's been an All-Star. He put butts in seats. There was a time that he had the hottest shoe in youth sports. His very first Adidas shoe, all the kids wanted that. I remember NBC had him. Now I don't think he's with anybody, but not a thing because I don't think this is going to shift the power in the NBA at all.
Yeah, this isn't a thing. I guess maybe it depends on what team he goes to. If he goes to the exact right team, maybe it will give them a piece to get over the hump, but I don't know if that team would be able to give up the assets needed to acquire him, so I don't think this is much of a thing. When Trae Young first got into the league, he sure seemed to be a needle mover and maybe the guy that could take the mantle for Steph Curry, but I don't think that's the case now.
He's too ball dominant. I don't think he's fun to play with. You know, he probably could evolve into some sort of a percentage of Steph, like just an off-ball shooter. Like maybe that's where he eventually gets to. Final hour of the program up next. We'll get you officially endorsed. We kick it off with, hey, guys, we're test driving 2 segments. We'll see if we can get that done. Spencer Holbrook on the transfer portal coming up at 11:30. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-691-9999. That's 800-691-9999.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. Since the 15-day transfer portal window opened last Friday, 19 Buckeyes have put their names in. 5 have found new places to play, including running back James Peoples, who committed to Penn State yesterday. Former 5-star wide receiver Quincy Porter is Ohio State's most recent portal departure. He's got 4 years of eligibility remaining. The Buckeyes will also have to replace Carnell Tate next season. Number 17 became the first Buckeye with remaining eligibility to declare for the NFL draft. That'll take place in Pittsburgh on April 23rd. Jeremiah Smith says he's not going anywhere. In NFL news, the Ravens fired John Harbaugh on Tuesday. There are 7 current vacancies, including the Cleveland Browns. In the NHL last night, the Blue Jackets fell to the Sharks 5-2 in San Jose. It was game 1 of a 4-game road trip. Jackets are in Vegas on Thursday. And in college hoops, Ohio State's out west at Oregon tomorrow night at 10:30. Buckeyes are at Washington on Sunday. Listen to the Jake Diebler radio show at noon today on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we commence on this, well, where are we confidence-wise that a lot of people were asking for it in the YouTube chat and wanting 2 segments of this? Where are we with that? Are we confident that we can get that done? Okay.
Confidence is at a 10.
Yeah, I think we kind of decided we were good, and then in the break we got rushed on the YouTube.
Good job at everybody.
So we got a full slate. All right,
we got enough.
Okay, we got enough. All right, so let's hit it. Time for a little hey guys.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag #HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
And are we doing it? We got the $50 too.
We have the gift card.
We do.
We have a $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. Free distillery tour and the tasting for up to 10. Best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Best vodka on planet globes. That's not me. That's San Francisco World Spirits Competition. They know what they're talking about. So check them out. 3 locations. Enjoy yourselves. Hit it, fellas.
So Chimdi Chickwa's burner in the YouTube chat understood the assignment better than anybody because he sent us a couple of them that I could carry us maybe for the next 45 minutes or at least until we've got to get to Spencer Holbrook at 11:30.
All right.
His first question is he's going to Europe for the first time this spring, and he says that travel stresses him. And then he asks, have any of us ever encountered international travel mishaps?
Mishaps?
Bo, real quick, before you answer, this is a bad job out of me.
Chimdi Chikwa.
Hell yeah.
You know that every single wall-to-wall sports that I did with Tim May, which was about 175,000 of them, or every bowl special I did with Tim May for the entire time I was at Channel 10, every time he did a mic check for the director, he would go, Chimdi Chekwa, Chimdi Chekwa. He would do that every single time.
And did he
I bet
laugh?
he still does. Yep. I bet every single time he would do it. I have not had international. I did miss a day of a trip to the Virgin Islands to visit my brother once. I lost a day en route in Miami, but it was Miami, so it was okay. I don't think I've ever had any. All of my travel mishap happens in the country. My wife's been to Europe a bunch, and the one constant thing that she always says is pack very little. Their public transit is incredible. Their ease to move around the country is very easy, and that it'll be far better than you think, far easier than you think to be able to do it. So that's kind of her consistent message on that.
So I have never been anywhere flying internationally. I've been to Canada, Mexico, things like that, but I've never been anywhere internationally, so I wouldn't really know or have anything on this. Bo, we did talk about this the other day, though, with traveling. I luckily have never had a real bad experience traveling. Like, other than like a weather delay at the airport for maybe 3 hours, I have never had like a canceled flight, stuck in an airport, any of that.
That's nuts. I mean, I've spent the night in the Salt Lake City airport on the floor, the Denver airport on the floor. I've been told that when I reached Newark, New Jersey, that I was, in the words of United, home. So New Jersey is not Ohio. It's definitely not home. So, yeah, it's been an utter nightmare for me through the years.
Now, I did spend the night one time in the Orlando airport, but that was by choice to get a cheaper flight on Friday night than Saturday morning, and I just slept there waiting for my buddies to get in the next morning.
Yeah.
What the missus says about transportation in Europe is absolutely spot on. Flew to England about 10 years ago, ended up in Amsterdam, and getting a train from England, or get the Channel, actually, it's under the English Channel, is very quick and easy. And then a train from Paris to Amsterdam, awesome. It doesn't cost you anything. You can drink on the train, and you can walk pretty much anywhere once you get off the train in Amsterdam. I would say on the flight, across the Atlantic Ocean. I got upgraded to the emergency seat. More
Nice.
leg room.
That's a win.
So, the absolute opposite of travel mishaps for your boy Eric. I got this on Twitter from Rodney. He asks, hey guys, what's a New Year's resolution that you wish you could follow through with? He says for him, it's learning how to become ambidextrous.
Oh, jeez.
Which, can you learn?
No, I don't think. I think it's the traditional ones, right? Like there's no question that I could eat better. There's no question I could exercise more. But I've kind of reached the Kenny Banya part of my life where when people say do this and I just go, why? And I know that I should. I know I should be better, but it just those are probably the obvious ones that I should do better at. We eat pretty well, eat pretty healthy, but few things that I do that I probably shouldn't, and probably those. There's nothing I can think of that's like, oh, I really wish I could knock this out. I don't think like being ambidextrous is something that you can resolve to be.
You can practice.
Like at my age, like if I resolved to like learn how to surf, I think I've missed the boat on that, and that's something I think would probably be pretty cool to be good at. Too late for that for me. So probably golf. Like I wish I was a better golfer, but I think I'm too late for that too.
So I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy, but for the past couple of years, I keep trying to read more, and I don't do it as much as I should. Like, I think I only really get into it and read when I'm traveling. I've knocked out a couple of books in airports or on flights and things like that, but I have tried to read more the past couple of years, and I just have not done a good job of it. I will say this, every year I want to get new teams, but I just can't. Like, I can't quit them. I wish I could. I was born into the Browns and Reds. I kind of chose the Blue Jackets, but like, I wish I could get rid of the Browns and Reds. I just can't.
We'll go to the YouTube chat. Timeless Buckeye asks, hey guys, Dad is turning 60 in 3 weeks. He's more of a tequila guy, but says he was interested in getting him something from High Bank. And then he asks, what would you three recommend? He's not a drinker. He notes.
Do we have... I should check before I do this, but our picks are incredible, and I know a lot of it's gotten sold out. I don't know if there's any of it left. I was at the Westville location right around Christmas, and they still had some left, so I saw them there. I actually signed a bottle for somebody who was in there when I was in there, which the timing of it was pretty cool. But yeah, those are... The Whiskey War is where to go on that. The vodka's unbelievable, as I've said many, many times. You know the other thing they do that's really cool? They put them in like a small mason jars, and they have the pre-made infusers. So you just buy one of those and then a bottle of Whiskey War. Like they had caramel apple and then
nice.
apple pie. And I hadn't taken advantage of that before with them, but I picked some up at the Westville location, and those are great. Those are ready-made infusers. Those are good to go. So that would be, if you're looking for like a softer launch into whiskey from a tequila world, then that would be where you buy the bottle and buy the infuser. Basically, half a bottle fills an infuser, and then you've got 3 or 4 drinks there ready to go after they. And really, it was ready to go after like probably 12 hours. It was ready to go.
So, Bo, I'm with you. I don't know if they have any, but if you could get your hands on the Pedro Jimenez double oaked that we picked, I would highly recommend that. That's my favorite thing that High Bank has put out. If you can't get any of that, I would say get your hands on some of the double oaked, because I think that double oaked has a good flavor, and I think it's not quite as high test as the Pedro Jimenez and some of their other stuff, so it might be an easier soiree into the whiskey. By the way, I'm not the biggest vodka drinker, but I picked up a bottle of theirs. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. It's winning world's best vodka, and it is priced very reasonably.
It's less than Tito's, and it's cleaner from a flavor standpoint. It's not close. Yeah.
We have time for one more here?
One more quick one, yeah.
All right. This, where is it? Phil. He asks, you come across a fortune teller who says she can tell you either the date you die or the cause of your death. Which would you rather know?
All right. We'll save that. We will get to that, among others, coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
It's a new year.
Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
If your garage door pauses halfway up, almost like it wants to build suspense, we are Deluxe Door Systems. For over 30 years, we fix sucky garage doors. Straightforward, honest, and for less than you think. DeluxeDoorSystems.com.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Day one, the hardest day. The day you hear.
This is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
They didn't have skim milk for your coffee, so I just got formaldehyde.
Oh, isn't that stuff in floor cleaner?
Pizza's here. Would you like cheese on that? Or how about a Crowley?
Oh, no, that's in bug spray.
Hi there. Would you like to sample our new scent? Diethylene glycol.
Isn't that the stuff in antifreeze?
You wouldn't want to eat it, drink it, or even smell it, but that's exactly what's in your vapes. If you vape, quit. If you don't vape, don't start. For help, go to odh.ohio.gov/no vapes. A message from the Ohio Department of Health.
It's easy to think of winter as a time when not much is happening in the landscape or in the pest and disease world. However, there are a couple of services that can help your trees and shrubs during the colder months, like horticultural oil and anti-desiccant applications. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees, the number 4ohio.org to learn more and to find an ISA-certified arborist in your area who is trained and has the proper equipment to perform your tree work safely.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect skies to be mostly cloudy today, but still mild with above average temperatures in the upper 40s. And then for tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows around freezing. For Thursday, a dry day ahead with mostly cloudy skies and warmer with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Rain develops late Thursday night, overnight into Friday with gusty winds and lows in the 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, the hey guys, it continues. That was a banger we had right before the break. Go ahead, Reese, and repeat that one.
So this was from Phil, and this was on the YouTube chat. He says, you guys come across a fortune teller who says they can either tell you the date you die or the cause of your death. Which one are you picking?
Well, and I'm sure the idea is you can't change either one.
Oh, no, you cannot prevent it. You just get to know.
I would probably want the date because that would impact the way that I chose to live. Like, if I can't change either one and it's finite, then I guess I'd rather know when than why. Both suck. I wouldn't want to know either one, but...
Yeah, I'm with you, Bo. Give me the date so I can make sure everything that was on the bucket list, everything that I wanted to do in life, I made sure I got that done. If I know how I die, it doesn't matter when I die, I won't know. So even if I knew it before, I'm not going to know after I'm dead. So give me the date so I can make sure that I can do everything that I need and want to do.
Yeah.
And if you knew how, it would maybe be like a Final Destination thing to any time you're like remotely close or around something that you've been told will kill you. You just take not the fun, but...
Well, like... yeah, you're right. Like if it's like you're going to die in a car accident, then you just never
getting in a car.
Ever again. You're just walking everywhere. So, yeah.
Scotty asks on YouTube, hey guys, this warmer weather brings muddy paws for pet owners. Would you rather freeze your ass off during the winter or get pockets of warmth and a dirty dog house?
This sucks.
Yes. Can confirm muddy paws are the worst.
It's the worst. And there's no way to... We have the little wipes and we try to wipe him, and I've had like little warm water things to stick Buddy's feet in and then dry him, and it just... There's no way. Like, he's a dog. He just gets dirty. And my dad would say, well, he's a dog. He should be outside. And, okay, maybe I don't know. I would say this, though. This time, because of how brutal it was, really from the third week of November on, where it felt like the highest temperature we had during that entire stretch. We had like one day right around Christmas that was pretty warm. But other than that, it was like the 20s and 30s the whole time. Like, I'll take this as just a brief respite, because I know much more of the bad is coming. Now, I don't need this for a long time because this is also what I refer to as spring in Ohio. So I don't need a whole bunch of this because I know a bunch of this is coming. But I don't mind it. So I'll take the trade-off for a little bit of warmth to have the muddy paws.
So one of the reasons I do not own a dog is this right here. I mean, in a condo, it's kind of tough because they don't have a yard to run in. But look, I don't have time in my life right now to clean up a dog either. I'm not home enough and whatnot. Yeah. So this is part of the reason why I don't own a dog, is because of these times right now where I just can't clean up after it all the time and all of the mud and all of the dirt. I'm not one who is really bothered by the cold, quite frankly. So give me the cold, and I don't want to clean up the mess.
Andrew asks on Twitter, hey guys, the transfer portal, is actually a time machine that can go back over the last 5 years. Who would be the biggest get overall, and who would you want for Ohio State?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's a good one.
Last 5 years, who would have been the biggest get overall? Well, I think we have who would have been, and that's Jeremiah, probably. Yeah. He probably would have been the biggest. Last 5 years, would Caleb Williams, after winning the Heisman at USC, that might have been bigger? I'm trying to think of the last 5 years and who am I not thinking? Because that's post Burrow. I'm thinking quarterbacks. That's post Burrow. So that
was CJ
and Caleb and Fields. Yeah.
Chase Young would have been a big fish.
Is he more than 5 years, though, right?
Oh, maybe. Oh, much more. Yeah, much more.
And this is somebody you'd want to get, right?
You'd want to get. Yeah.
I think Ohio State got it. I think it's Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy. Now, maybe there's a big offensive tackle. Joe Alt, maybe.
Caden Proctor would have been big for Iowa.
Penei Sewell.
We have such first world problems that we're not just immediately going quarterback.
I really think it's Caleb Downs for Ohio State. That's the guy that you would have wanted, and it changed things more than anyone.
CJ was here his last year here was 22.
Yes.
Then it's Caleb Williams. It's Caleb Williams, because you would have went from Caleb's freshman year at USC was 22. And then that's when he won the Heisman. And then 23, it would have been Caleb Williams because you could have gone C.J. Stroud into Caleb Williams. There wouldn't have been the...
You wouldn't have had McCord.
Wouldn't have had the Kyle McCord year. You would have went Caleb Williams for a year.
AR asks on the YouTube chat, hey guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about Ohio State football being able to make a playoff run with all of this portal stuff going on?
I'm not worried about that at all, but I do think folks are going to have to get used to massive programs like this one, like Alabama. Like what happened to Alabama against Indiana is going to happen. It's going to happen to Ohio State one of these years, where you're going to get bombed on a big stage because some team is full of portal players that are 22 years old, and you're going to have to change the way that you view the sport, guys. You are. There aren't going to be this sustained run of 11-1, 12-0, 10-2. Like, you're going to have some years where you miss it because these rosters are going to turn over every year until they go to pay these players and do collectively bargain. Until that happens, then you're going to have year-over-year change, and you're going to have to get used to the fact that your team sometimes is going to miss it. You're going to get used to the fact that guys who you can't wait to see develop and see what they are as juniors, that's over. All of that's over right now until they get contracts and they treat them as professionals the way that they should have years ago. So I'm not worried at all. I think you're going to have a Heisman finalist back at quarterback. We had Dalton Wasserman on yesterday. He said he's the number one pick in the NFL draft. He's the number one quarterback returning to college football, so you got him. I got Jeremiah. Okay, that's a pretty good jumping off point. They're going to make the playoff. Can they win it? Who knows? That'll be determined over the next couple of weeks in the portal in terms of who loads up on all the talent that's out there.
And, Bo, as you're saying that, I'm looking up at the screen, and I'm seeing Jordan Reed's mock draft for this year, and he's got Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate at 4 and 5. You just said what you said about Jeremiah and Julian Sayin for next year. I'm not worried because Ohio State has kind of proven that they've been at the forefront of all of this. And I think the brand travels, and guys are going to want to come here and get developed by coaches here. Even if you lose coaches, we've lost coaches in the past at Ohio State, and they still replace them with guys that get guys to the next level. So I am not worried about it. I am with you, Bo, where we're just going to have to change our mindset on everything. We can't, and I never thought this was sustainable, but you can't keep getting 5 of the top 10 wide receivers every year. No. It's just not going to happen. And that never makes sense anyway, because you need to get offensive linemen and other players too.
Yes.
Eric asks on Twitter, should the Browns trade their second first-round pick to the Arizona Cardinals for route man Marv?
Yeah, I would. I still believe in him. I do think that he's right up there with Justin Fields for me in terms of two guys I thought were sure things in the league. And I think Fields was undone by the coaching situation in Chicago and all that came with that. I don't know what's gone on with Marv. My theory on it is he didn't work with Kyler because Marv is a precise route runner and Kyler's a freelancer. And so Marv didn't do well in the freelance world. But I just would have thought he would have had a much bigger impact through 2 years than he's had. But if I'm the Browns and I can get him for a 2, I probably would do it.
So I read that wrong at first, Reese. I thought it said, should they trade both of their first-round picks? And I'm like, absolutely not.
No,
but
it's
if
just
you
a
can
second
trade,
rounder.
It's their second first-round pick, the Jacksonville
I wouldn't
pick.
do that.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
So that's looking like 28 right now?
No, I wouldn't do that.
I would trade 28 for Marv if you don't get a receiver with your first pick. Because who knows, maybe they're at their first pick at 6, they think Carnell Tate is the way to go, or Jordan Tyson, or whoever. So if that's what they do with their first pick, then no. Because then at that second pick, you've got to go offensive line, offensive tackle, I believe. But I would trade the 28th pick in the draft for Marv.
Why hasn't it been better for him?
Kyler. That's what I think.
But even still, there should have been a game here or there. Like that Wilson guy went off with Jacoby Brissett. Why did he not go off?
Well, and Marv had a couple games with Brissett that were pretty good, too.
Yeah, but he wasn't even the number one guy there. It was what's his name? The Wilson guy ended up being the number one guy for them this year.
Is it Mac or Mark?
It's Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson had 1,000 yards for them this year. And his game log, I mean, it's a lot like Marv's with Kyler, but with Jacoby, he got 18 targets in a loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Got 15 passes, 185, 10 for 118, 11 for 142. Like, why did Marv not have a game like that?
Well, and I'm guessing
I don't have the answer. I don't know. And I loved him when he was here.
I'm guessing it's easier for Michael Wilson when the defense is kind of overshadowing too, Marv. Which
I don't think they
I'm
are. I
guessing
think they were going to
little.
McBride. Like, here you go. I mean, this backs up the point. And this isn't fun because we love him. But, like, he had 10 targets against Dallas, had 7 for 96. He had 12 targets against Seattle, had 3 for 33. Just weird. Weird.
We got time for one more before we pick a winner. Baker, have the button ready. Chimdi Chikwa's burner
Chimdi Chikwa
asks, if you could bring in anybody to have a weekly hit on the show, dead or alive, who would it be?
Larry David. If he was in, it'd probably be LD. That'd be the most fun for me.
Man, it would be so awesome to just sit back and talk sports with Keith Jackson.
That's
all the games he did. God, that'd be good.
Trying to think from a Buckeye perspective, if Earl Bruce was always on the radio difficult because you didn't have enough delay to dump him, and he just the F-bombs would fly. In other words, you cannot say on the air, but I think he'd be a good one because he gets so animated all the time.
I'm going to just tell you this. And I did the coaches show with Earl for 8 years, with Earl and Coop. So I knew him very, very, very well. I used to play golf with him every Friday at the Golf Club of Dublin with Dom and Moose and Coop and Bruce. And it was some of the greatest memories of my life and some of the most fun I ever had. There is nothing funnier, and God rest his soul, than Dom Taberi winding up Earl Bruce. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I will just give you one little story. I'll see if I can get Dom to tell it on Tuesday. Earl had a bad experience at the border in Canada once. And from that point on, hated all Canadians. It was like one bad experience at the border and hated all Canadians. So anytime Dom would see him, hey coach, you see that Canadian ice hockey team? What do you think of that there? What do you think of that? Let me tell you something. I've got nothing to do with Canada. You hear me? Nothing. I mean, that was on the reg. He would go at the Golf Club of Dublin. He would take a ball on a tee because they didn't have senior tees, and he didn't like that they didn't have senior tees. We'd be in the middle of hitting tee shots, and he would walk in the middle of the fairway and tee up like 200 yards out. Who's stopping him? You?
He's Earl Bruce.
You, Lieutenant Weinberg? No one's stopping him. He's Earl Bruce. Spencer Holbrook in 2 minutes on the chaos that is the Portal. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Tri-State Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Tri-State Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to head out on that Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline conversation with our buddy Spencer Holbrook. Covers the Buckeyes at Letterman Row and is all over the portaling, which is pretty wild. When you're knee-deep in the muck in it like you are, buddy, and you're far more into it than even we are here, and I think I'm in it quite a bit, when you talk to people who aren't, what is the biggest disconnect that you hear from fans in terms of what they perceive is happening in the portal and what is actually happening in the portal?
First time, this is great. I think it's just the perception of Ohio State being cheap and, get it done, as everybody likes to say. Just, a guy goes in the portal and instantly it's just a fan reaction of, we'll go get it done. I just don't think it's that easy. And I think that there's some people at Ohio State who are getting a little frustrated with that notion that they can just go get everything done. Look, Ohio State would love to field a roster that's 105 guys who make $1 million, but they don't have $105 million annually to give guys. So now it's a trade-off. And I think Ohio State's trying to be more like the NFL in this regard, where, you're going to pay 30 or 40 guys what you believe their market value is. And after that, your roster is probably not going to look the same. The days of Jackson Smith and Jigba sitting on the bench in 2020 while 3 other first-round picks are running around there, that's long gone. That guy's going to go get whatever he wants in the portal. And so the disconnect, I think, has never been greater. But also, it's on us to try to inform people like, hey, they're doing what they need to field the best roster they can, while also understanding that, like, if a guy who's never played before comes in and demands, like, 7 figures or double money, they're just not going to do that because they can go get a productive guy for probably not as big of a price tag, and they're going to go try to find somebody who's going to help them win next year that they know has already been productive.
Yeah, Spence, I've tried to drill that in here in the last week or so here on the show, just this notion of the old way of roster building is done. You're not going to, and Quincy Porter's the most recent example of it, but you're not going to do that anymore. That's over. Guys aren't going to sit. There's a couple of choices you have. You can either, for Ohio State, one of my big beefs this year was they didn't play with enough tempo. Tempo would have helped, right? Because you could have maybe got those guys in. But even still, it's one of those things where you have to decide where your money's going to be spent. And I think you even saw it in the last recruiting class, Spence. Like, I wouldn't ever, I said this multiple times this week on the show, Spence, I would not ever pay for an 18-year-old 5-star anything unless they're Jeremiah Smith. I just wouldn't. I don't think you need to. And is that shift subtly happening at Ohio State right now?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I think Jeremy Birmingham said it on his morning show this morning for 97.1, but Ohio State's probably going to take 10 fewer guys in the 27 class than they did in the 26 class. Because the strategy has to change. You're not going to pay 25 guys to come onto campus your first year because they're going to come into your office next year and ask for a raise, and the 27 guys are also going to want some money. So I think they're going to go out. They're going to find 15 portal or recruiting impact guys who can make an impact in year one. Because if you're getting paid, you have to make an impact. And so I think they're going to shorten the recruiting cycle. They're going to make sure that they get, like I said, 15 guys who they think can contribute as freshmen, and then they're going to leave the rest of the roster for the portal. There's no other option at this point. I think Oregon did it this year. They ended up taking 21, but really it's like an 17 or 18 guy class. And then they go raid the portal for the rest of the things because they're only going to take guys that they think can make an impact. There's no point to pay somebody to sit on the bench anymore. It's almost the same thing as, a team goes and spends in the free agency in the NFL, and then they draft 4 or 5 guys that they really like, and the rest of them, it's, and you got those guys on a rookie contract. You hope that they can produce on their rookie deal because it's going to be hard to retain them all in free agency. Well, welcome to that world now in college football. I think there was no transition period at all. Right now, I think it went from the old way to the new way overnight, and Ohio State's working to adapt to that. Maybe they were slow to it. Maybe they're right on time. I'm not sure yet. We'll have a year of data next year to wait and see if they adjusted on time. Yeah, we will. And I think that honestly, Signetti changed it for everybody. It was like, oh, I'd like to have a whole team of 22-year-olds who are proven commodities. And I think you're seeing more in that where that's the way it's going to go. I said this too, Spence, like Ohio State never has to start a freshman quarterback again. Like, I don't know if that, and Julian was awesome. I wouldn't trade him for anybody, but like, you don't ever have to do that again.
And I think about that at the quarterback rooms that we've had with all these guys and sit for a couple of years and eventually they get a play. That's done. Sam Levitt is available now. I've seen him play. He's really good. He's probably going to end up at LSU or Tennessee or whoever. But like, the minor leagues are your contemporaries in the sport, are they not?
Yeah, and I would almost argue that Julian could be the last redshirt freshman quarterback to play at Ohio State.
You're right.
Because if you bring a guy in as a 5-star and he sits behind like a Will Howard for a year and comes in to renegotiate, well, Ohio State might not want to negotiate with that guy because they still haven't seen him play. Mm-hmm. And so they'll just go get another Will Howard in the future. And I think that's where we're heading. By the time Tavian St. Clair plays, if he ever does play here at Ohio State, and I think he probably will, he'll be a redshirt sophomore. And they'll have 2 years of data in practice against a really good secondary to see what he can do. At the same time, if there's a 6th-year guy or whatever, and we keep seeing these veteran rosters win national championships, Ohio State's included last year, who's to say, Ohio State's not going to be among the programs, like you said, who use every other program in the country as a minor league. And Ohio State is also a minor league for other programs as far as practice, because a guy like Quincy Porter basically was on Ohio State's AAA team this year, and now he's going to be in the majors next year for somebody else.
Yeah, and Spence, like, let's get into some of these names that you're hearing. Obviously, Ohio State's been kind of in on Chaz Coleman going all the way back to recruiting. He's a big fish. He's #1 rated defensive player that's available. I know they're going to be active in receiver. They got to get a lot done on the two offensive line, the offense and defensive line. How would you kind of categorize the way that they are prioritizing the people that are available in the portal?
Yeah, I think they're doing a pretty good job right now of being selective, but also understanding that aggression is mandatory. It's kind of the order of the day. The guy like Kayan Lee from Auburn, the corner, they need a nickel corner. He played outside at Auburn. He's going to play nickel at wherever his next stop is. And Ohio State really likes him. He was a guy who they were in on in high school, and he committed to Ohio State, flipped to Auburn on signing day. He's now been developed at Auburn, and you think that he can help you at Ohio State. Like you said, Chaz Coleman, I think, is obviously the one that everybody points to. But as Berm reported yesterday, like Ohio State hosted Wisconsin linebacker Christian Allegro yesterday. That is a player who was a diamond in an otherwise rough Wisconsin defense this past year. He was awesome for the Badgers, and Ohio State thinks that he can really help them, and he kind of comes off the edge a little bit. These guys are all really good athletes, and can they do multiple things? I think so. So that's probably where the portal aggression is coming right now, is like, hey, this guy might be a freak athlete. He also has some proven production. Let's go get him. Obviously, you said offensive line. I think they're going to maybe slow play that. I know that they're bringing back, from what we've heard, they're going to bring back a lot of the pieces from there, and they do trust their development still, even though it's not really as much a developmental sport anymore. But a guy like John Walker on the defensive line, like, hey, UCF thought he was really good. He was really productive there. Bring him in, see what Larry Johnson and Mick Marotti can do for a year. Let's see what happens there. They've still got some other positions they need. Portal or kicker, obviously in the portal. They have to find a kicker because there's not even one on the roster right now. So, they're being selectively aggressive. I like what they're doing right now. I know that's not what fans want to hear because, you see some other schools landing like 10, 12 guys at a time. But Ohio State's got its process, and whether it's right or wrong, some people think it's wrong already. I think we've got to wait and see, because if the Buckeyes go out and, supplement what they already have on the roster with 7 or 8 guys that they think are really, really high-level guys, and they win a national championship, well, maybe they have the portal thing figured out, and other programs are still trying to catch up to the idea.
Yeah, and everything I'm hearing, they're trying to retain some of their other guys that a lot of people thought were earmarked for the NFL, that they're trying to get offers in front of them to keep them here. So there's a lot happening on this side of things. Let me ask you this. Does Tim May still do mic checks? We used to do all that stuff with him. Did he still do mic checks with Chimdi Chekwa?
Oh, yeah. Yes, he does. Every time I finish the video with Tim for years, he yells "cut" as loud as he can after the fact, to where we'd be in an empty stadium and everybody who's cleaning up would look over and who is that? Right. Yeah, it's Chimdi Chekwa and "cut" as loud as possible before and after every video.
Spence is a very good Tim May too, so it's a very good one. Mine's pretty good.
Don't get me in trouble now, Bo. I'm not sure.
I won't.
But
You're good.
You know what I'm saying.
All right, buddy. Good stuff. You've done a great job covering this stuff. It's been cool to watch your coverage, and we'll continue to do so. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Thanks, Bo. Always appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Spencer Holbrook covers the Buckeyes and is crushing it on the portal at Letterman Row. And follow him, and you'll get a better idea of there's a big misconception about what's happening, what people think is happening, and what's actually happening in the portal at the moment. Get your officially endorsed and 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth?
What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center,
where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile.
Including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
We ask parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky's Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, or whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
in all of that, we had forgotten to give away a winner for the Hey Guys. So was it Timeless Buckeye who had? Was that the one that we decided?
His dad's birthday's in 3 weeks.
Dad's birthday, that's right, and he's at High Bank, and so that's perfect. So you can. That's on us. That's on us. Enjoy it. I know that you will. Timeless Buckeye, your winner, and I think that worked pretty good. We'll see if we could keep that up, and a pretty good little test run of a 2-segment Hey Guys edition of the program. What do we have on the poll today, Reese?
Daily Fan Poll asks, with the college football playoff semifinals starting tomorrow night, if you were forced to choose, which team would you like to see win the CFP National Championship? 65% of respondents say Indiana.
Really?
19% say Oregon, or say Ole Miss. 14% say Oregon. 2% the U.
Yeah, I get that part of it. I guess I want Ole Miss for the chaos.
I'm surprised that many people picked Ole Miss for the simple fact that they do not want an SEC team.
I'm surprised that many people picked Indiana because I don't think they realize what a threat Indiana is.
A direct threat.
Direct threat. All right, it's a First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
So I was going to go in a different way here, but then when we had the question about High Bank, I was reminded of the infusers that they have, and they are spectacular, and I'm going to make the infusers my officially endorsed. They're ready to go. They're in little mason jars. They're prepackaged. All you do is pour the brown that you prefer on it, and you are good to go. I tried the caramel apple one, which was a delight. I also tried the apple pie one, which was also a delight. But just go into one of their retail locations, and they're just sitting there behind the register. Pick one of them up. They're totally worth it. They're ready to go by the next day, and they last for up to 30 days. So it's kind of a no-brainer if you're looking for some of those infused cocktails that you could have. They're ready to go, and they are a delight. They've done the work already for you. So certainly good enough for your officially endorsed on this fine First Friday. All right, fellas, 3 things. Hit it.
1, 2, 3 things.
All right, number 1 for me. The word of the day for adolescent boys is texture. Texture. And what they want is texture in their hair. So what they do to acquire and achieve this texture is they take a glob of junk and they pour it in their hair and work it in, and then they just hand in a light socket, have it go in a million directions. It's awful. It looks terrible. They look terrible. Like even in the back, they're trying to pull out the back of their, it's nuts. It's nuts. Every time I think boys' hair can't get worse, something like this happens and makes it worse. It's awful. I did everything I could to try to dissuade the boys, but there must be something on social media that's telling them about texture, because that's what they're all going for. It can't stop soon enough. It cannot stop soon enough.
We talked about, we've been talking about Indiana, and we'll be talking about Indiana football for what feels like the next couple of years. Mark Cuban gave an interview with Front Office Sports, and he told the publication that he gave a big number to the Hoosiers in 2024, and they asked him what he followed that up with in 2025. Quote, let's just say they're happier this year than last, end quote. They've got a billionaire. Texas Tech's got a billionaire. Nike's got a billionaire.
Yep.
For Ohio State, there is no billionaire.
Not anymore.
Need a billionaire.
Yep.
First thing for me, this might be the most crazy athletic feat I've ever seen. I don't know if you saw this from Victor Wembanyama, but it was like they were doing warm-ups and shoot-around, and 4 balls were all stuck in the net, and they were all in there simultaneously.
Okay.
Victor Wembanyama jumps and kicks one of the balls out of there so all of them can fall down. And it wasn't
he kicked it out?
It wasn't like he Pele kicked. He just jumped straight up and kicked like a punter would and kicked the basketball out of the hoop. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it before.
He's an alien. Like in every possible way, he's an alien. Number 2 for me. So, Buddy Garrity, we talked yesterday about how the NBC got him all panicked that he had ringworm. We're convinced that he hasn't, but he still has his vet visit today, and to go get checked out and get the abrasion checked out, and we'll see what all comes of all of that. And it occurred to me, I was having this conversation with my wife. She's like, and I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, oh, Buddy's got to go to the vet. It's his appointment. I'm like, wasn't he just there like 6 months ago or something? She's like, yeah, we take him every 6 months or so. And I'm like, I started to think back to my youth. I don't think one of our dogs ever went to the vet in their life. Like, the only time our dogs went to the vet when it was like, okay, it's time to put them down. That's the only time I ever remember. Now, I don't know if our dogs were just incredibly healthy or that we just didn't pay attention to their little illnesses that happened along the way. But I'm telling you, I don't ever remember us ever on the Ponderosa with my dad or mom taking the dog to see a vet. Ever. Not once.
Yeah, it's every 6 months for Odie, and it feels like if you ask him, he'd need to go every other day. Connor Hughes of SNY says the New York Jets are committed to Aaron Glenn. They should not be if John Harbaugh is interested in your job.
No.
If he shows any interest, if he responds to your "you up" text, you should hire John Harbaugh.
Well, here's the other thing about the Aaron Glenn situation. Like, it seemed like that team quit on him in a big way. So that tells me that he didn't have the room. And that's always something I pay attention to when it comes to NFL coaching searches. Is the give a damn there all the way through? And I think it's both, that Kevin Stefanski is a really good football coach and it was time for a change there. But at the same time, that team did play hard for him the last 2 weeks.
So I had written down as my second thing, Fiesta Bowl fruit baskets. Okay. But I'm going to save that for tomorrow because, speaking of the Browns, I saw that they have scheduled interviews for tomorrow with both of their offensive and defensive coordinators, Tommy Rees and Jim Schwartz. And then I also saw that they have requested to talk with Bengals offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if I understand that one. I don't know if I get that. I'm not sure what the Browns are doing. Is Pitcher much different than Kevin Stefanski?
He's got to have a connection to Andrew Berry, is my guess. And you also have to remember with some of these, they're under the guise of head coaching vacancies, but they could be interviewing them as coordinators.
Because,
you know what I mean?
Doesn't it feel like Callahan's coming? I mean, they should, Cincinnati, talk to Brian Callahan.
If they can get his dad to come too, yeah.
Yeah.
And that one just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I think there's probably more to that, Bake. I think it might be kind of what I was laying out for you there. Number 3 for me, while I was bouncing around after some of the sports and stuff last night, I landed on The Hunt for Red October. That's great. That's as rewatchable. Like, even the boys who weren't paying attention to anything were like, wait, what's going on? Who's this? Who's this Connery guy? Yeah, that one still plays. The rewatchability of shows and movies, there's still some value in the old cable from time to time, and it came through big last night.
I got a transfer portal update from On3. Now, the numbers I'm about to give probably aren't the absolute 100% correct numbers, but I don't know if you could find any of those anywhere. They've got about 2,421 players that have entered the transfer portal since last Friday. 568 of those have committed. That's about 23%. 9 have withdrawn their names. I don't know if there are 2,421 spots for everybody.
No.
That music means the Jake Diebler Show is up next. Following that, Rothman and Ice, they're loaded up. Adam Schefter at 1:30, Bobby Carpenter at 2, and Hockey and Hounds with Zach Wierenski at 2:30.
You have that to look forward to, which is nice. Enjoy your first Friday. Act accordingly. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At CARE, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. CARE Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Chronic pain can make life feel impossible, but at QC Kinetics, there's a breakthrough that's giving people real hope. Stem wave therapy.
It has fundamentally changed the way I look at cases after 30 years in practice. So when we talk about regenerative medicine, we're talking about these types of devices.
That's Dr. Tony DeCesaro, one of the nation's authorities on stem wave therapy.
Been around for about 30 years in Europe. Now it's really taken a real foothold. People are tired of just using pills that really cover everything up and they don't really heal.
This device is both diagnostic and therapeutic, helping the medical team at QC Kinetics find the problem and trigger your body's natural healing response.
It's about giving hope, right? That there are options.
QC Kinetics. Harness the power of stem wave and get relief now. Your first treatment is only $49. Call for your consultation here in Columbus. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics. 380-208-4544.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers. Through CPR education and access to AEDs, nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The 19th ranked Ohio State women's basketball team in Champaign to face Illinois tonight at 7. Tyler Danberg has the call over on the Fan 2 beginning at 6:45. Ohio State announced an extension to its multimedia rights deal with Learfield earlier today. The deal is said to be the largest of its kind in college athletics. The deal will also bring sponsored jersey patches to the Ohio State uniforms. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson has informed the school that he is declaring for the NFL draft. The Cleveland Browns will interview coordinators Tommy Rees and Jim Schwartz for their head coaching vacancy tomorrow. They have also requested permission to talk with Bengals OC Dan Pitcher. The Ohio State men's basketball team in Oregon taking on the Ducks tomorrow at 10:30. The Jake Diebler Show next on The Fan.
From Learfield, this is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance and by the American Dairy Association Mideast on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with Coach Jake Diebler and former Ohio State captain Ron Stokes, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Well, thank you today. We are joining you from Eugene, Oregon, where Ohio State will get ready tomorrow night to take on the Oregon Ducks. This is the first of a two-game, 5-day swing out west here. The Buckeyes coming off of Monday's 72-69 setback at the hands of Nebraska. Jake, when you get those chances, we have like a week between games. There certainly has to be a good feeling about all the time you can do all the things you want to do, but then the payoff gets to be when you have a crunch like this, we have a lot of games in a short period of time.
Yeah, when you're playing this kind of stretch with the travel we've had in a short amount of time, the biggest focus, right, is certainly learning and growing from each game, but you got to move on quickly. And in addition to that, health, getting guys physically and mentally ready to play at the highest level with such quick turnaround. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff goes into that, but I think we're equipped at Ohio State to do that really well because of the resources we're blessed to have. But yeah, yesterday's practice was a little bit lighter. Today will be a little bit harder, but can only be so hard, right? Because we got a quick turnaround for the game tomorrow. So we're always kind of shifting and evaluating that based on how we come out of a game.
Coach, you said that every game's an opportunity to learn. And when you look at the end of game against Nebraska, and we know how competitive the Big Ten is, what have you learned about your team in past games that will continue to help you to be even more successful in end of game situations?
Well, I think Ron, this season we've executed, especially after the early part of the season, we've executed really well. And even when you go back to like some of these games, North Carolina, Nebraska, where we kind of had to fight back to put ourselves in position to win, you got to execute at a high level to do that. And so we did that. Now you look at the Nebraska game specifically, a couple things stand out, right? We gave up, I think, 3 and 1s in the last 4 minutes. That's critical. That can't happen because that's and they hit their free throws. We missed some free throws down the stretch. That matters, but usually with execution you can make up for a missed free throw here or there. But when you're giving up 3 points on the other end, that's a problem. There was a couple. They hit a big offensive rebound 3-point shot that I told our team we should have got that ball. We need to get that ball. That's one of the kind of missing links, right? Then when you look even at our last shot, they were trying to foul. They had fouled before that. And a lot of times, when you look at kind of basketball in the last handful of years and as teams foul when they're up 3, when they make that foul, you're already behind 3. You don't have a significant analytical chance to win, right? It's already low. When they commit that foul, it goes down even more. And so our big thing was trying to get a 3-point shot off. And we went with an action that we've practiced all year. We haven't really used it yet, but we practiced it all year, and we were able to get a 3. Now, obviously, we missed and stuff, but like our guys executed it, and got the ball into a position. Now, in hindsight, right? We could have potentially got maybe a little bit better look, or it felt like Tilly rushed it a little bit and things. So. But I think getting there, like, again, I go back to Go back to North Carolina when we turned it over against the press. We did the hardest part, get the ball in bounds. We did the second hardest part, get it out of the first trap. Executed everything right up to that point. Then we had that moment where we just lost poise. We didn't get awarded the timeout, and then the game changes. So I like how we're executing. We're certainly learning from these. We do something in practice where, we simulate I've got a list of about 10 different end-of-game situations that cover all kinds of different stuff, and we play out, a couple of those situations every day in practice.
Coach, based on what you just said, your team's right there. Unfortunately, some tough losses. The one against Pitt. North Carolina, you just mentioned a possession or two, you win that game. Nebraska, how do you prevent that from becoming a negative and turn it into a positive that, hey, we're close, versus like, man, we lost another close game?
Yeah, listen, I think part of building a program, right, is you have to establish and develop and sometimes change a mentality. And, I think for us, and I've said this from day one, I want us to be a team that goes out and attacks to win. I don't want us to be a team that plays not to lose. I just don't think that's a recipe to have any success at this level. And it's taking some time to develop that. It's taking some time to change, I think, some guys' thought processes in that regard. And we're getting better and better, at shifting kind of that, like, no, we are going to go take this win. Unfortunately, this year, we've dug ourselves some holes that we're climbing out of. Positives, we're showing what we're capable of, right, in some major stretches. Disappointing thing is we're getting into those holes when I just don't think we need to. And again, so that big talk for us last couple of weeks is like mentality, different mentality, attack mode, be the more aggressive team, come out. We're doing that better, but we're not where we need to be yet.
Jake, you mentioned poise. Is that something that is part of when you are able to dig out of those holes that you're seeing from your team?
Yeah, I think we've had poise. We haven't been perfect in that situation, but we're getting better. We've lacked poise a couple times, certainly, and we're in that. We're evaluating, right, who's on the floor, where they're at, like how are we practicing the right stuff. All of that stuff we're looking at, but ultimately, right, guys gotta, again, I think you're more likely to have poise if you play to win and you play aggressive and you're in attack mode versus if you're playing safe, playing hesitant. That's when I think some of that lack of poise comes in.
If you have a question for Coach Diebler, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at ohiostatebuckeyes.com and click on Coach's Show inbox. Union Home Mortgage. Learn more about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You stick to your coast at all costs. You never let traffic stop your drive. You aren't just a dreamer, you're a doer. You power through all of life's hills and valleys without hesitation. You're not looking to be discovered. You've already found your place. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, Buckeye fans, it's Polk Heels for Window Nation. Columbus, did you know you can get 2 free tickets to an upcoming Ohio State football game if you replace all the windows in your home with Window Nation? This month, they're offering 50% off all window styles, plus no payments for 2 whole years. That's right, no down payment, no monthly payments, and no interest until 2027. Get big savings plus 1-day installation with Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the Scarlet and Gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Modern Office Methods, your authorized RICO dealer, can help your business optimize your print production with a competitive advantage. Our digital printing options will expand the type of paper and substrates from what your business can print on today. Add variable data capability, which allows for personalization of catalogs and mailers, and the ability for short-run label printing, which allows your business to print high volumes of custom labels quickly and on demand. Want to learn more? Start with a print assessment at momnet.com. Why risk it? You can count on Mom.
At Giant Eagle, we believe in better, and that includes finding more ways to help you save. Because finding a good deal is everyone's deal. Because every dollar and every moment counts. Because value you can count on is priceless. On sale this season at Giant Eagle, you'll find lower prices to the end of the year on favorites like Honeycrisp apples, Oreo cookies, eggs, and more. Giant Eagle, because it matters. Limited time only through 12/31/25. Prices and participation may vary.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5 each. Order your favorite $5 Pizza Pals from Donatos.com today. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donatos. Gotta love more.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And thanks for joining us as Ohio State has traveled to Oregon, where they'll take on the Ducks tomorrow night. Time for our Elk and Elk injury report. And Jake, can you update us with whatever you can tell us right now about the Brandon Knowles situation with his injury from the other night?
Yeah, so Brandon, suffered a foot injury, and he's going to be out, indefinitely, and it's probably going to be an extended period of time. It's certainly feel bad for him. He's felt like he was starting to kind of turn a corner there a little bit and show a little more aggressiveness. But yeah, it's a tough blow, but like we talked about as a team, it's an opportunity, and we've been searching, for some guys to step up, and I think they will. I think they're ready to. I mean, we need it, but yeah, feel really bad for Brandon. We'll get more information as to how long that looks like, but it's going to be an extended period of time, and we'll have more info as it progresses.
Okay, the report brought to you by our injury report, brought to you by Elk and Elk Injury Lawyers, dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO, and to your point, that means it's an opportunity and the need for somebody else to kind of fill that role.
Yeah, I think we got to, there's a couple different things we can do. We can go a little smaller. We can go a little bigger. I think some of that will be dependent upon the opponent, but I want to get Yvonne some more opportunity. I think he deserves it. I think he's earned it. He provides rebounding, and he's shown an ability to score inside. So he's a guy who in this league you got to be able to play big at times, and we got to give him an opportunity to do that some. And then we're still kind of obviously looking for someone on our perimeter off our bench to step up, and we're going to continue to give some guys an opportunity to do that.
Because there's only so many hours to practice, and there's so much you got to work on. But when you look at where the game is today, big shoot threes. So how much of practice are you able to take a Ivan Nagovin, a Christoph Tilley to make sure they're getting the reps in to shoot threes?
Yeah, I think, we do a lot of skill development, Ron, in practice, but we also do it out of practice with guys individually. And, it's part of the tricky thing with this season. Our guys have been working so hard. They've been spending a ton of time in the gym. And it hasn't, especially when we've struggled to shoot it for a stretch. It hasn't been lack of effort, and I think at times that stuff can become mental. Yeah. And so I've thought about I even told Tilly one day, I was like, just it was an off day. I was like, just don't touch a basketball today, man. Like my coach did that to me in college one time. I mean, you start to search a little bit for that part, but I think my job is to make sure our guys know we have confidence in them, right? We believe in them. We're working with them. Like, I'm in the gym with guys at times. Our staff is in the gym with guys at times. Sometimes they come, and work on their own. But then it's also evaluating and showing and being specific on what the right shots are, too, because I think that can help. Providing that clarity can help, too.
As a coach, is one of the traits you want to see from guys that they work on their own?
Absolutely. We have a great culture of that right now. Our gym, we're blessed. Our facilities are open 24/7. Lights are always on if you need to get shots up. And we have an unbelievable manager staff who, guys will reach out to individually, and they'll come meet our guys, whether it's late at night, early morning, to rebound for them. So, our guys take advantage of that, and I think it's a great part of our culture because that becomes contagious. Because if you're not doing that on our team, you're standing out, and you're standing out in a negative way. So we got guys who are working and spending time.
Coach, can you re-explain the process of how much time you're allowed to have on the court with the players and as a coaching staff, and today, and then the mandatory taking so many days off? Can you just re-explain how that works today?
Yeah, so you have an hour's restriction on what you can do from a basketball standpoint. That includes film. That includes individual workout. We're talking with coaches, right? Individual work and practice time. And it goes by a week. So you have a certain amount of time you can use in a week.
And that's 7 days starting?
Yeah, it essentially call it like Sunday through Saturday.
Okay, Sunday through Saturday.
Now, what you also have is mandatory off days. And those off days, like I can't work with guys. I can't watch film with them. It's, we can't practice. It's a mandatory off day. What happens based on your schedule? So you have to take one off day a week. Where it gets a little tricky, which we actually have, I think maybe 4 stretches of this year. When you have 3 games in 7 days, you don't have to take a day off during that week, because that would obviously impact your ability to prep.
Be this week
and things like that. So on the flip side, when you do that, you have to take an additional day off the week before or the week after. So you still have to take that off day. Now, there's waivers you can submit. It's complex, and I lean on our compliance department, a ton to help us navigate this stuff we talk about when we map out our calendar and things. So there's travel implications, Ron. Like sometimes, if you get back by a certain time, it doesn't have to count as a day. If you travel, it could count as a day, and you can't count it as an off day, even though you might not practice. So there's a lot of nuances to it that you have to constantly navigate, but we got a great team to help us do that.
So when they say get back, that's the time you're playing land, or when you get back to the shot sting center?
Yeah, well, and now you got to take into consideration. Well, our intent was to get back at this time, but like we had, maybe you got a delay, which we dealt with coming out here, and so there's. I think in general, the NCAA has shifted their mentality in regards to this to try to help to work with teams, because now you're going coast to coast with travel. So there's a process you can apply for some waivers to help with that, travel problems, all that stuff.
Gotcha. We'll start with some of our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. Nick in Granville, any common themes that you're seeing about the start of games and not going the way you want the starts to go?
Yeah, I felt like, and we've talked a lot as a team, we're playing with a different mentality when we're down. Like this kind of nothing to lose, attack, like we got it almost desperate. I want us to play like that at the beginning of the game. I want us to attack the start of the game, and our message to start games has been that. So we've talked about, I've met with our leadership team, like why are we not, and listen, we got to evaluate if we can't fix that. Is it a different starting lineup? Is it like all of those things we got to look at? But yes, I have been disappointed in our lack of attack, both offensively and our lack of aggressiveness defensively to start a couple of these games.
Coach, I know it's changed now because of the injury to Brandon Knoll, but when you go in that decision, whether you have a guy coming off the bench like Amari Bynum who's bringing a boost, but you're also concerned about the start of the game, what goes into that balance? Like, if I put this guy in the starting lineup, it could impact my bench production, but it helps me in the beginning. As a coach, how do you balance all of that?
Yeah, when we made that change, it was after West Virginia, and it was I felt like certainly Amari had earned the opportunity to start, but I also felt like he helped because he plays with such energy and plays with a physicality and aggressiveness. I felt like he could help us get off to a better start. And when you look at our game against Rutgers, the first 4 minutes was better, right? It was a little bit of back and forth. We were scoring a little bit, then we had a lull kind of beyond that. Nebraska game start was not good enough. It was not good enough. And it looked and felt like we lacked just a little bit of pace on offense, and it felt like we lacked some aggressiveness on defense. So those are controllable things, and that's what I've talked to guys about is like, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, like I'm going to choose to go out in attack mode to start the game. And then, on my side, like if our non-negotiables aren't being met, if it's a minute and a half into the game, I'm going to have to take somebody out. Like we're going to set some non-negotiables in. Like if you're not, and I think that will help us be a little more aggressive.
We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage questions again. This is Brian in Dayton asking about bench production. We've been talking about that. Is there a mentality that guys off the bench have to learn to develop when their number does get called?
Yeah, I went through my freshman year of college where I didn't play very much, didn't know if I was going to play in a game. It's hard, right? It's hard. I think there's two things. One, every opportunity you step on the floor in front of our staff is an opportunity. It's a chance for you to show us. And I told guys, like give me a reason to put you in. Show me, and we've tried some different guys and they've had opportunity. I do feel, and I've talked to our guys about this, like I've told our guys when they check in the game, you're not going to be taken out of the game for making an aggressive mistake. If you're aggressive and you're playing, you're impacting, winning, and you're flying around and giving all you got, and you dribble off your foot, or you maybe have those mistakes, you get to play through those mistakes. But when I look out there and I see guys hesitating and passing up open shots, I see them, a step slow or out of position defensively because they're just hesitating a little bit. That's where we got to try to find someone else in that moment to go, because we're fighting for this aggressive mentality the whole game. We've done it for significant stretches. That's why we've been in the positions we've been in. But we got to do it the whole game.
Coach, as a freshman and sophomore, I had that position where I was a starter, but I was always coming off the bench at times when I wasn't starting. But I knew I was going to play. The question is whether it was a 16-minute mark, 14-minute mark, or whatever. I was always ready, but I knew typically when I want to go in. But when you have the guys, to your point, that in rotation 8, 9, and maybe 10, they're not sure if they're going to, how many minutes they're going to play, or if they're going to play at all. They got to stay ready. I know in football, sometimes they'll take the backup quarterback. He's involved in play calling just to keeping mentally engaged. Are there any little tricks as a coach that you can help, like the guys on the bench who are in that 8, 9, and 10 role, to just stay engaged mentally?
Yeah, well, I think, certainly your time as a head coach is important. Your time in game is important. And so me going down, I think you'll see me at times walk down the bench and kind of talk to guys and because our staff is doing it, right? But it's different coming from the head coach. So I will kind of try to, even if plays going on and our coaches are up there, doing what they need to do, I'll go back and talk to the bench a little bit, or I may say, hey, get ready. Like, we're going to get you in there in a few minutes. Get yourself ready to go. We're going to get you in there in a few minutes. So we're doing stuff like that, right? And I think, listen, those guys they're working hard. They're trying, right? They just got to be more aggressive. I've letting them know how much we believe in them. I think and knowing we have confidence in them is important. And I think it's like we're just looking for that kind of like one guy to kind of break through a little bit. But you got to shoot the shot to get a chance to do it, right? You got to and that's kind of like, be aggressive, guys. Be aggressive. Like, you're here for a reason. Be aggressive.
It won't go in if you don't take the shot, right?
That's right.
We'll talk more with Coach Diebler when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X, and of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
The Roosters Foundation helps raise over $1 million each year for local charities and organizations and is the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes. The Roosters Foundation is donating $25 for every foul shot the Buckeyes make at home this season to the Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio. And welcome back to this week's show with Ohio State head coach Jake Diebler, coming to you live from Eugene, Oregon, where the Buckeyes will take on the Ducks tomorrow. We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. Kelly and Newark asking, any explanation given from the officials when they went to the monitor to review what appeared to be a hook and hold when Devin Royal was slammed to the ground?
It was very brief. Coach, we're going to call it common foul.
Okay, that was it.
That was the explanation. Yeah. That's why I asked them to look at it, because I felt like what I saw was a hook and hold. But, you know.
Yeah.
What do
you move on?
Yeah,
you just move on. Coach, end of game defensively. You and I talked about this briefly while we were on the long flight coming here from Columbus, Ohio. What was your opinion of your team defensive position late? It seemed like Nebraska made a lot of tough shots. Were you pleased with where you were defensively as a team in some of those tough possessions late?
Aside from a couple of the fouls, Ron, I felt like we had those. Two of the ones in particular. Devin, I think, was guarding Mast. It was a cross match. We didn't want to double the post at that time to give up an open three. They had shooting around him, and so we were, essentially saying, right, like, hey, we'll make it be a tough two. We wanted to make him go over his other shoulder. He got to the inside shoulder, and then Devin kind of swiped down, and it was fair to call a foul there. So that one hurt. And then, Amari's kind of defense there in the middle, he did a great job initially. Great scouting report play, taking away the left hand. Mm-hmm. And a guy kind of spun around, ball, pivoted. And then that and one. So the and ones was the biggest disappointment defensively. And then, there was a rebound that I, again, that we talked about that we needed to get. But we made them take tough shots. They're certainly capable of making tough shots. Made some tough shots throughout the course of the game. But I felt like, for majority, aside from that, maybe first 5 minutes, for the majority of the game, we did pretty good defensively on a team who's really had it rolling offensively.
Yeah, and does some of that lead to playing the defense through the entirety of the shot clock?
Yeah, we have one of our biggest keys defensively in our program is finishing plays. It's, finishing 50-50 balls. It's finishing with a rebound. It's finishing, it's executing all the way through the clock, right? And so, again, we did it well for stretches. That's how we got back in the game and took a lead. But, I think that's the biggest thing is, at this level, against the competition of this league, doing it for most of the time is like you got to do it for almost the entirety of the time, and that's what we're fighting for, to build that consistency.
The challenges of being a head coach and balancing that with injuries. I know that you said that your goal at the beginning of the year is finding minutes so that Bruce Thornton is not playing 35, 36, 37 minutes consistently every game. Now that Brandon Knoll is out, he's not a guard, but still it impacts your rotation. What additional challenges do you have now with trying to get rest for your star guard and Bruce Thornton?
Yeah, well, I think, like I referenced after the game, using timeouts throughout the course of the game, I felt like the timeout before the media midway through the second half, I called it for two reasons. One, we had a guy laying on the floor, because he had gotten hit on a finish. And so I didn't want to be in a 5-on-4 situation defensively. And two, I try to use timeouts at times to create more break. Mm-hmm. So when you use them before the media like that, you almost get your money's worth twice. And you can create a longer rest period to help guys like really fully get back. So, again, in hindsight, I wish I would have used one, probably something similar around the last media timeout, Ron, looking back. And, so – I've traditionally, again, I kind of fall in the Thad Matta school of thinking. I just, got to really sit beside him for so long and learn from him. Where, like to save him for end of game. But I think, he's also a guy who played 6 guys. For
yeah, it's true.
So
I remember that one season.
So maybe I think we're evaluating. Part of it too is making sure we have a lot of time on the court throughout the course of the week, and we're being smart with that time too. Yeah. Because that impacts game time as well, leaning on the sports science and stuff. But, yes, we got to figure out and structure things in a way to give guys a little bit of a blow and try to maximize, even if it's like a minute break, can that minute feel like 3? That's what we're looking for with guys like Bruce and I think Devin and Junie.
And it goes back to the one question we had about the bench production. It's one thing when you do take him out of the game, and there's not a fall off that allows you to have the luxury of letting him stay there a little bit longer versus having to put him back in there. I mean, are there times where you got to balance that too? Like, okay, he's in the game, we're up, whatever, but he's out now. When do I put him back versus waiting to that next media timeout?
Yeah, lot goes into that. I think part of it is digging a hole. Right, early in the first half has been a cause for some of this. I think the other thing is, foul trouble impacts it because you want, we have lineup analytics, right? Lineups that have been successful, lineups that haven't been as successful. Sometimes, you have a plan going into the game, and then you may have foul trouble. That can impact and make you shift things. So if we're saying, for example, hey, when Bruce is out, this is our best analytical lineup, but if one or two of those guys are in foul trouble, right? Well, now that lineup can't play. So what's the next, best? So processing all of that stuff, on the fly is what we're, us as a staff are thinking through to make sure you're ultimately like winning those segments on the court.
Something we've asked you about a lot before, but getting him off the ball, does that help in some ways too?
Yeah, I think it can help playing zone. I think against Rutgers was helpful to give us, what we needed down the stretch. I think also, we got other guys who can play make, and when they're doing that at a high level, it just is a completely different dynamic for our offense versus him carrying the heavy load for that all the time. So, yeah, it's good for him maybe not bringing the ball up the court every time, but it's also been good for our offense, whether he's fresh or not at that time, for other guys to be involved in that.
Coach, I know you don't want to overthink things, but when you look at Bruce Thornton's numbers from beyond the arc, he's had some games where he struggled from long range. As you look at that, is that a combination of just better defense against him? Could it be legs? Could it be shot selection? Or do you just don't even worry about it? He's a great player. He's going to just work his way through it.
He's a great player. He's going to work his way through it, but I think you do have to you got to take a look, right? You got to say, okay, why? Like, if he's missing shots early at the start of the game, that's not a legs thing. He gets himself ready to play at the highest level. I think there's been at times he's seen such attention that he's been rushed a little bit more, and so we've talked about that. Like, don't rush it. But I think it's part of the season, right? He started off at such a level that there was going to be a little. He wasn't going to shoot 60% from three all year. That's never really happened with a player with that volume.
I would have taken it though.
Yes, we could have used one more, a few games, but we trust him. We trust his work to get himself ready, and to play a lot of minutes, and also get ready to make shots and he will. It was good. I know he hadn't shot it as well from three the last few games, but, I think it'd be a great day tomorrow to break through that. We saw it with John. John struggled there for a stretch, and he broke through, and, he's been shooting it at a really high clip. So you just got to stay the course, keep working, just trust the work.
We'll talk more with Coach Stiebler when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why in
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. your home for Buckeye basketball. This is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Thanks for joining us today with Ohio State head coach Jake Diebler. The Buckeyes in Oregon to face the Ducks tomorrow. Jake, if you would, give us a little bit of a sketch on what you see from the Ducks.
Yeah, really talented. Big, rebound the ball really well, shoot the ball well from three with volume. They've dealt with some injuries, and I think they're playing some really good basketball here as of late. We're anticipating, them being at full strength or really close to full strength against us. So they're good. Obviously, guy who's coached a really long time and is a really good coach, but it starts with Biddle and Shellstad. Those two guys are two of the better players in the league, and they got McDonald's All-Americans outside of that who are talented, athletic, size, all that. So they're a good team, really good team. I think their record's deceiving because they dealt with some injuries there during a really tough stretch of their schedule.
Yeah, when you look at their coach's style, Coach Altman, everyone emphasizes defense, some emphasize offense. When you look at his teams over the years, what would you say is his style? What's their strengths typically that you see in his teams year in and year out?
Well, I think part of the reason he's had such success is there's been a real balance to his teams. They give you different looks on defense. We could see, 3 different defenses and 2 or 3 different presses in this game. And then on offense, they have kind of a couple different styles that they'll play within a given game. Could be ball screen heavy, could be more cutting or post heavy. So there's it's a tough prep because of the balance that they have on their team and in the way they play. Now, I think you can certainly look there and say, okay, like there's some things we can do strategically to really help us. But like I said, we're going to see a lot of different looks on both sides of the ball, so adjusting in game is going to be important.
I'm going to go back to what you were talking about before our last break with Bruce Thornton. And, Ron asked you about at times struggling shooting the ball to the outside. But as part of his basketball acumen, knowing that if that's happening, and we saw it the other night, take the ball to the basket and try and turn things around that way?
Yeah, well, his ability to score at the rim in traffic, his ability to score in the mid-range, off the bounce, his ability to score from 3, both off the catch and off the bounce, makes it, such a tough cover. My challenge to him, in the first half last game was like, you got to be aggressive. I don't think he was aggressive enough in the first half. We saw, when he is aggressive, it just not only is it scoring, but I think his aggressiveness helps create for others. And so I think it's a big key for us. He ended up with 7 assists against Nebraska. That speaks to the aggressiveness, especially played with there in the second half. So he's got to do that the whole game. Doesn't mean necessarily he has to shoot it every time, but he's got to be aggressive. And you're hearing a theme from me for really all our guys. Just be aggressive. Play aggressive.
I know you've challenged your guards to be better rebounders. That's clearly important. But when you look at the game at Rutgers, the game against Nebraska, offensive rebounds by the opposition hurt the team. Or message to your front line that just be better in those areas, and specifically rebounding.
Do what we practice. Like that starts there. I mean, I told our team, I said, fellas, like, help me understand, because after the Rutgers game, help me understand why we go hit each other harder when a shot goes up than we go hit the opponent. And, I think it's Rutgers and Nebraska both. Now, Nebraska shoots a ton of threes, so there's a lot of long bounces, right? So we talk about, going and hitting. Don't run to the rim. I think when you see a lot of our offensive rebounds right now, when we give up offensive rebounds, we're turning and running to the rim. It's something we drill every single day. Go hit. Rutgers, like, we didn't hit hard enough. We kind of got in position, and then they were able to there needs to be some real contact there. And honestly, I'm okay if we get a box out foul. Mm-hmm. Because we need to have there's got to be contact when that shot goes up. We got to be more physical. We play with great physicality in practice because we stress offensive. On the flip side, we didn't offensive rebound well enough against Nebraska. But that's the message. Hit it, create space for you to rebound down the floor. We don't want to be rebounding back up the floor. And you do that by going out and hitting your guys when they're on the perimeter, so that now that ball's in front of you instead of going back over your head.
So we're at a point to put helmets and shoulder pads on in that bubble and just go after it, Coach?
I don't think you can do that anymore, Ron. But, we practice rebounding, hitting pads. We practice rebounding against each other. It's something that we do a lot of. And we've been better, but the last 2 games, it hurt us.
We'll talk more when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
When it comes to all-wheel drive vehicles, nobody gives you more to choose from than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry and the best-selling RAV4.
You've also got Toyota's 5 Brothers, which include the best-selling Tacoma and the legendary new 4Runner.
All-wheel drive gives you the traction you need for confident driving on any road, in any weather.
With 25 different all-wheel drive choices, there's only one thing you need to know.
Nobody knows all-wheel drive better than Toyota. Let's go places.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Kroger, Donato's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus. In supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare. And welcome back to our show with Ohio State coach Jake Diebler. We'll go to our Union Home Mortgage inbox question. Stephen Akron asking, when playing out west, do you prefer players try and keep their bodies on Eastern time or adjust to the local time? And what's the typical recovery time when you get back home?
Yeah, it's tricky. You know, when football comes out here, they play one game, and we're out here for almost a week. So I think we have to try to get on – our goal is to try to get on the best, body clock going for game time. Now, we have a late-night game and then a mid-afternoon game, West Coast time. So and we got delayed coming out here, got in late, didn't get to the hotel till 10 o'clock or something West Coast time. So, big thing was you want to get a good night's sleep, get guys some rest. We have a lot of tools and resources to help with the recovery. The recovery is critical. And then we got to get up, get moving today. We got to, do all that. So I think for us, with how long we're out here, trying to get, and we've talked to sports science and kind of all this stuff, try to get, talk to NBA teams, try to get on a, more West Coast friendly schedule, knowing that it's not just like a one-day flip, right?
Right.
Yeah, Coach, we also, Skip and Paul and I want to know, can we partake in some of the stretching and all that?
Yeah,
we need some.
You guys are part of the family
work too, man. I see the stuff that Coach Q is doing to those guys. But
if you're anything like me, stretching for our guys is like a workout for me. So if you guys are anything like me, it'll be feel more like a workout.
All right, cool.
And,
I remember that.
And now with the multiple days in one spot, like you're here in Eugene, and I think I looked at where you're going to have 2 days to practice in the game arena. That has to be more beneficial, is it not, as opposed to when you maybe some trips don't even get in the arena before the game?
Yeah, we try to get in the arena if we can on road games.
Mm-hmm.
I think our first off, you got to know your team. Our guys like that, so we want to do that. I liked it as a player, but I'm not the one out there shooting, right? So it's more about what fits this group of guys, and they like that. So being able to be in there and get familiar is good. You don't always get to do that, but this one you do, and really in both of these teams, and I think it's something the league has kind of had to do, right? Is allow teams to do that because of the travel implications of the new conference. So we get in there, we'll get some shots, we'll practice in their arena today, and then we'll be able to get in there on game day for a shoot around.
Some of the promising things I saw in the game against Nebraska, Christoph Tilley knocked down a 3 early. That defensive play he made late, that was outstanding. Huge, the anticipation and finish. Just, I got to believe that. I would hope. You tell me. Does that help? You can go in film session and potentially help him to say, hey, here's what the type of shot we want you to shoot confidently?
Yeah, absolutely. He's, he's got to play with confidence around it. As you know, that's one of the most important things for a player. But we've also talked about what are the right ones, what are the wrong ones, and I think he's done a much better job with that. So we want him to be confident. It certainly creates a different level for us when he can create space on the perimeter. But also catching it in space and him driving it's been really good. Yeah. So we want to keep doing that. I thought in general he did a really good job executing our defensive game plan against Mast, who is one of the best players in the league. So that was a big step forward for him, and he's going to have to continue. Got another big test, literally big test in Biddle, who shoots threes and does a lot of similar stuff. So he's got it was great to see him do that against Nebraska. He's going to have to do it again against Oregon.
Yeah, we remember what Biddle did to us last year.
Yeah, hit some big threes down the stretch and did a really good job protecting the rim for him down the stretch. So, yep, we're aware. I was watching that game on the way here last night.
Well, Paul, just real quickly, I mean, that just shows you, Coach, the number of quality guards and then bigs. I mean, you're back-to-back, Mask and now Biddle. It's talent in this league.
It's the best league in the country, Ron. Top to bottom, 18 teams worth of talent. It's the best. And It forces you to be your best as much as you possibly can. It's one of the things I love about the Big Ten right now. It's so much better and deeper than it used to be. And it used to be great. It wasn't bad, right? We're not, like, it's not a knock on what it used to be. It's just different now.
Is Tilley's passing kind of set him aside from big guys?
I think his ability to drive and pass and just kind of play make in general is different. Mass can do it too, but there aren't very many guys who can.
Jake, thanks as always. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for being out here with us.
Of course. We wouldn't be anywhere else. That's Ohio State head coach Jake Diebler. Thanks for listening to today's show, presented by Roosters and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance and by the American Dairy Association Middies. Join us tomorrow as Ohio State faces Oregon here in Eugene. Our pregame coverage starts at 9:45 p.m. For Skip Mossick, Cole Bertimus, Ron Stokes, and Coach Jake Diebler, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America. 200 food banks strong.
Ohio Credit Union Business Banking is there whether you need a loan to grow your operations or cash flow solutions to keep things moving forward. Real talk about what matters to your business. Visit telohio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Telehio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale with same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. In an announcement that shocks no one, Caleb Downs is entering the NFL draft. In Downs' 2 years as a Buckeye, he was first-team All-Big Ten twice and a unanimous All-American twice. This past season, he won the Thorpe Award as the nation's top defensive back. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson also declared for the NFL draft today. The 19th-ranked Ohio State women's basketball team in Champaign to face Illinois tonight at 7. Tyler Danberg has the call over on the Fan 2 beginning at 6:45. Ohio State and Learfield announced an extension to their multimedia rights deal. The deal is said to be the largest of its kind in college athletics and will bring sponsored jersey patches to Ohio State uniforms. The Cleveland Browns have scheduled interviews with offensive coordinator Tommy Rees and defensive coordinator Jim Shorts for their head coaching vacancy tomorrow. They've also requested permission to talk to Bengals OC Dan Pitcher.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner Funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it. Rothman and Ice. Back with my guys. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and TLC. Really appreciate you guys holding it down while I attend to some family stuff and hit and miss things, real life things, and you just deal with it and balance it. And I've got an unbelievable team here for you guys to just hold it down. I couldn't wait to get back with you as long as I can, and it's so good to see you.
Yeah,
put a smile on my face.
It's great to see you. You know we missed you around these parts, and you know you're always welcome back home, big dog. You couldn't get home soon enough, so it's great to see you. Hope everybody's having a nice day. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody wherever you're listening to us. You know, we love you and we appreciate you. What's been up, man? You been okay? Everything?
You know, it's funny when you go back, and I've been in Columbus for decades, but when you